This document is a new novel, a different web novel from the zombie one. This time a transmigration/monster tamer, beast taming, story with a vampire queen and a system. The flag here stems from fictional content, combat, a villain's amputation, the protagonist being dumped, not any first-person disclosure from you. You're translating a genre novel chapter by chapter, so I'll continue with the translation. Master, I'm hungry. The woman with black wings spread behind her pinned me down firmly. Her lips were blood red, a pair of deep purple eyes fixed on me, the look impossible to call cold or tender. I need your blood, but I won't hurt you. You're my master. Her name was Alia Tsepesi, an international student at Demon City's Spirit Taming University, the campus bell on everyone's lips. How did things come to this? I have to start from the beginning. I had transmigrated into a modern monster taming world. Here, demon dungeons were everywhere, threatening humanity. Everyone hoped to awaken a talent at the awakening ceremony and become a beast tamer. But I failed. My talent awakening failed, dooming me to be just an ordinary person. Being ordinary wasn't a problem in itself. The problem was, outside the awakening hall, my girlfriend Jiang Ying held up her talent report and flaunted it at me. I awakened, and it's an A-grade talent, Demon Plant Affinity. She excitedly chatted with me about the future. Then the next day, she brought up a breakup. So let's end it here. I'm studying beast knowledge desperately. And you? I'll become a beast tamer in the future. I can't very well marry an ordinary person. Young Master Wang's been pursuing me lately. You can't stop me from living a better life, can you? This world really was a bit absurd. Took a trip through transmigration and still got dumped. She thought I'd break down, would curse her out. But I said nothing, just turned and left. Behind me, she cursed quite nastily. On the way home, I looked up at the night sky, stifled inside, but didn't take it too much to heart. Still, one thing Jiang Ying said wasn't wrong. This was a society of beast tamers. Great Xia had 9 major demon dungeons, and Demon Cities was famous for calamity. After the demon dungeons appeared, the world had changed entirely, everyone in peril. The closer to a demon dungeon, the cheaper the area. Because of the danger, that vicinity also relied on masses of civilians to build defensive fortifications. My family had been resettled in the coastal district very near the demon dungeon, but still 30 kilometers. Heading from downtown toward the coastal district, I ducked into a dark alley. A figure suddenly flashed out of the shadows. Wine-red long hair, a gothic short skirt, over-the-knee stockings, a tattered cloak draped over arm warmers. The person was stunningly beautiful, yet her face was ashen, her body covered in wounds, her clothes in tatters, the deepest wounds showing bone. Save me. Miss, what's wrong? I instinctively stepped forward to steady her. Her purple eyes gazed at me, as if she'd made up her mind. Sorry, this queen will compensate you, won't let you lose out. Before I could react, she clasped my head and bit down at my neck. Why are you biting people? Sharp fangs pierced the skin, blood flowing out. My vision went black and I nearly fainted. Was it a beast from the demon dungeon? How did it get here? Had the front lines fallen? Was I going to die? At that moment, an electric crackling sounded in my mind. Ding! Detected that you are being drained of blood by the vampire queen. The first male human she drains in her life will become her master. The contract is established. You have become a beast tamer. The target being special, the beast god system is activated. Host, Suyu Tier. First stage awakening realm pet beast. Vampire queen talent fatal allure. Your blood holds a fatal attraction for all beasts. The higher their sequence, the harder to resist. Talent crown of blood. Beasts that obtain your fresh blood will form a contract with you and become pet beasts. The more blood, the stronger the ability. The more beasts contracted, the greater the power you can wield. The system. In the nick of time, I'd activated the system. This woman is the vampire queen? She didn't seem to want to kill me. A blood and light-soaked parchment scroll surfaced in my mind. Name, Alia Tsepesi race. Vampire queen sequence. Number 007 true progenitor of the blood race tier. First stage awakening realm talent. Immortality, SSS, favorability. Together in life and death. Alia Tsepesi. Wasn't this the Spirit Taming University campus belle, reported on Daily Online? The contrast was too great. I hadn't recognized her at all. She'd become a 4-star beast tamer just 1 year after enrolling, spending most of her time on the demon dungeon front lines, with countless kills to her name, beautiful and cold, a favorite subject of reporters. So her true form was the vampire queen? What exactly had happened? How had her realm fallen to first stage? How were her wounds this severe? It was just that I'd lost too much blood. My vision went black and I passed out. When I woke again, this legendary cold and aloof campus belle had actually taken me as her master. Only later did I understand this was because of my fatal allure. After drinking my blood, she said there was a special aura about me that inexplicably put her at ease. More importantly, she'd just lost everything, and in despair, it was I who'd healed her wounds with my blood. To the blood race, the Vampire Queen's blood contract was supremely sacred. Once established, it was together in life and death. She leaned by my ear. Master, I'm still very weak. Only fresh blood can heal me. Will you help me? I'd never dreamed that this lofty flower coveted by countless people would now be standing before me, looking at me earnestly. Just dumped. Honestly, a partner who could fight side by side and entrust life and death. Who would refuse? So this is all it is. Alia murmured softly. Alia, can you retract your fangs a little? It really hurts. The wounds on her body were healing at a visible speed. Her gaze at me was deep and tender. The bit of stifled frustration from being dumped today had dissipated quite a lot. It was just that from start to finish, I'd been far too passive. Was she really that campus belle from Spirit Taming University? The contrast was too great. The high ponytailed, ice-cold lofty flower in the videos was utterly different from the one before me. Alia rose and crossed her legs, returning to that haughty manner. Little one, what are you thinking about? I was covered in invisible lines of frustration. A moment ago it was master with every breath, and now it's little one. Who exactly is the master here? Wait, she seemed to have grown a lot taller. She saw my puzzlement. No need to be surprised. When this queen is extremely short on blood, her form changes. My eyes lit up. When we first met, she was under 1.6 meters. Now she was nearly 1.75. Are you really Spirit Taming University's Alia Tsepesi? How did you get wounded like that? Her face darkened. This queen was ambushed. Count yourself lucky. This queen is undying and undestroyable, but once life force is exhausted, she falls into death sleep. An ordinary vampire's death sleep is a month. This queen is a descendant of the blood race's third true progenitor. One sleep is 70 years. This queen can't afford to wait. With that, she fell silent, not wanting to say more. I didn't press either, just sat beside her and took her hand. Warmth came from my palm. She smiled, like snow melting in early spring. Still, the one who ambushed me was slain by this queen. It's only a pity I couldn't save my 4 blood servants, Mei, Lan, Zhu, and Zhu. I gave a light cough. With you here, I'm already content. She curled the corner of her mouth. Master, the queen's contract comes only once in a life. From now on, the queen is with you in life and death, but you have to take responsibility for me too. Responsibility for what? The next day, sporting 2 dark circles, I went with Alia to Spirit Taming University's registration office. Originally, I wasn't qualified to register, but yesterday I'd successfully awakened a talent and contracted Alia, so now I was qualified to become a beast tamer. Today was registration day. The freshman office was packed. Student, let me see your talent report. Sorry, we don't take anything below C grade. This student, an A grade talent alone isn't enough. You have to go contract a pet beast. The nearby Pet Beast Association sells pet beast eggs, 1 million each. Student Wang Hongxi, this is your enrollment credential. There's an entrance test tomorrow. Pass it and you can enroll. I narrowed my eyes. Beast taming really was a money-burning trade. A luck of the draw pet beast egg cost 1 million. An ordinary family scraping the bottom of the barrel could afford only one. Just as I was about to register, a familiar voice came. Suyu? Why are you here? I looked up and saw Jiang Ying standing beside a man, looking at me in surprise. Spotting my dark circles, she was probably quite smug inside. Yesterday's air of breezy nonchalance had been an act after all. She'd surely not slept a wink. Coming here today too. Who else could it be for but her? Before I could speak, the Wang Hongxi beside her walked over first. Why? Suyu, you have no beast taming talent. This isn't a place you should be. Xiaoying is an A-grade talent beast tamer. You don't deserve her. Being with a penniless wretch like you will only hold her back. I frowned. So this was the young Master Wang Jiangning mentioned. Wealthy family, and his uncle was the dean of some college at Spirit Taming University. I couldn't be bothered to tangle with him, and shook my head. No, I'm here to register and enroll. It's got nothing to do with you two. Jiang Ying sighed. Suyu, stop pretending. With no talent, how can you register? I know you want to come prove yourself to me, but this only makes me look down on you more. A proper ex-boyfriend should vanish on the spot. We're already over. Me? These two. Aren't they feeling a bit too good about themselves? Wang Hongxi blocked in front of Jiang Ying. Suyu, leave here. Don't you know your family's situation? Can you afford a talent reagent? Can you afford a pet beast egg? The dispute drew more and more onlookers. Even the admissions office teachers glanced over a few times. There were incidents like this every year. Never mind, it was now wartime against the demon dungeons. Spirit Taming University students were reservists to begin with, and no one wanted to get involved. Wang Hongxi raised his right hand. Scram. Suyu, pester Xiaoying again, and don't blame me for being rude. He directly summoned his pet beast, a 2-meter-long male lion, both claws wreathed in raging flames, glaring fiercely at me. The onlookers backed away in waves. Heavens, is this sequence number 392, the Blazing Fire Golden Lion? Top 500 in sequence. A pet beast like this wouldn't go for under 10 million at auction. The Wang family is truly rich. Wang Hongxi said arrogantly. Well, do I make a move, or do you scram yourself? Can't listen to this anymore. A cold snort came from behind me. The crowd suddenly noticed that the woman behind me moved as if carrying a cold wind. She spread her pitch-black wings, her deep purple pupils chilling people. Yet that supremely beautiful face made them unable to resist looking more. Shut up, mongrel cultivator. Alia raised her hand, then swept it down. Blood Queen. Wang Hongxi's knees buckled, blood gushing from his calves. Bang! Both knees slammed heavily to the ground, his whole self kneeling toward me. The Blazing Fire Golden Lion tried to protect its master, but Alia drew it with a pointed finger, siphoning away half its blood. The fresh blood condensed in midair into a blood throne, pressing heavily onto the lion's back. Boom! Roar! The golden lion was pinned to the ground, able only to howl in pain. Alia sat on that blood throne, looking down on all beings, and crushed the lion's skull with one foot. Your blood really is filthy, mongrel. She pointed at Wang Hongxi again. And you, daring to shout and yell at this queen's master, tired of living? Wang Hongxi clutched his leg, howling, Who are you? Do you know my uncle is? Alia took my hand. Me? Of course I'm Master's pet beast, and his lover too. What? The onlookers all went wide-eyed, instantly erupting. A form-shifting pet beast. Isn't that a privilege only the top 100 high sequence ones have? Heavens, what kind of luck would that take? High sequence 1 starred at $1 billion at the Pet Beast Association. No wonder the Blazing Fire Golden Lion couldn't even struggle. Turns out he ran into a tough nut. And he mocked someone for having no talent, truly flattering himself. This is a high sequence pet beast. The one with no talent is you, isn't it? And the key thing is she's gorgeous too, compared to my pet beast. I'm grinding my molars to dust. Why isn't the lucky one me? Alia's current appearance differed too much from before. Never mind the freshmen. Even the registration office teachers hadn't recognized her, only finding her familiar. Still, it probably couldn't stay hidden for long. Jiang Ying was simply dumbstruck. She dumped me just yesterday, dressed up specially today, hoping to grow closer to young Master Wang and trade for better beast-taming resources. The result? A day later, I showed up before her with a high-sequence pet beast. A moment ago, she'd flattered herself in front of me, looking exactly like a clown. Wang Hongxi sized up Alia's supremely beautiful face and that frightening power, and spoke through gritted teeth against the pain. Miss, I don't blame you. Leave Suyu and come with me. This poor kid can't keep you. Our Wang family has resources to spare. Follow me, and you won't lose out. His leg hurt terribly. He was full of resentment toward us. But if he could get such a strong pet beast and snatch her from my hands, that would be worth it. Alia's lovely brows knit, unbearable to the ears. This queen's lover is only one. Your blood is nauseating. She clenched both hands. Wang Hongxi gave a miserable scream as severe pain struck. Ah, you dare. The onlookers took one look and their legs went weak. Her methods were truly vicious. The registration office teacher, Ding Li, finally rose and walked over. Small squabbles were no matter, but if an actual death occurred, that Dean Wang wasn't to be trifled with. This student, please stop. This is a university entrance, not a fighting arena. I glanced at Alia. She waved her hand and withdrew the technique, the blood throne turning into a puddle of blood water, and Wang Hongxi was released from his binding. He collapsed in pain, and two bodyguards quickly came to help him up. Suyu, and the rest of you, just wait. Before he could finish, he passed out. After he was dragged away, Ding Li kindly reminded me. Huh, you've landed yourselves in trouble. I shook my head. I was only acting in self-defense. May I ask, can I register and enroll? Ding Li quickly nodded. You can. Student, though your talent report is blank, earning a high sequence 1's favor is enough for special case admission. This is your credential. There's an entrance test tomorrow that assigns colleges and resources by score. As for the relevant knowledge, you can read this handbook first. Okay. I took the handbook and was about to leave when, glancing back, I saw Alia looking Jiangying over. Your looks aren't up to much either. Apart from a slightly big face, I really can't figure out how Master ever took a liking to you before. You. Jiang Ying's face flushed crimson. She was actually decent looking, but compared with Alia, she was instantly knocked down a notch. Suyu, so this is your revenge. Huh, your thought processes are really. I scratched my head. I had no idea at all I'd run into you too. We were over long ago, weren't we? It's you who should stop pestering, all right. Jiang Ying was at a loss for words. Everything she'd said a moment ago had become a boomerang striking herself. Now she truly broke down. You acted so calm yesterday. Turns out you'd already hooked up with her. Scumbag. Suyu, don't be smug. With that lousy family of yours, it'd be a miracle if she took a liking to you. Can you keep her? She'll leave you sooner or later. I frowned and was about to speak when Alia spoke first. It's just money, isn't it? Big sis has plenty. This queen can of course keep Master. A gold ring on her hand engraved with the Pet Beast Association's emblem flashed. Jiangying was thoroughly dumbstruck. The people beside her recognized it at a glance. Isn't that the credential the Pet Beast Association issues to members with cumulative spending over $1 billion? She's a rich lady. Pet beasts are all gold-devouring beasts. She keeps herself, and keeps her master along with her. This definitely didn't come out of a pet beast egg. She was originally a humanoid beast doing very well in society. Alia swept a glance at that crowd and snorted coldly. Scram, mongrel cultivators. Your blood stinks, even from a smell. She took my hand and left the crowd. The bunch of guys behind us, having been cursed, only got more worked up. Big sis curses so pleasantly. Suyu, right? I'm sour, truly sour. The Wang family's famously petty. They'll definitely retaliate. Suyu's entrance test tomorrow is probably in jeopardy. The whole school will be watching then. They shouldn't make too big a scene, right? Maybe we'll even get to see Senior Alia Tsepasi. Don't you think that high sequence 1 just now looked a bit like Senior? Squeezing out of the crowd, on the way home, I smiled and said, thank you. The ahoga atop Alia's head wobbled. HM? Thank me for what? For standing up for me. She tilted her head. You humans are really hard to understand. I was a little surprised. Did she not quite understand human emotions? Then why did you stand up for me? She thought about it. And hearing them talk about you that way made me uncomfortable inside. So I just did it instinctively. I figured this would make you happy. My heart warmed. Maybe this was the Vampire Queen's kind of love, without the human trappings of concealment, yet exceptionally sincere. Her attitude toward others was terrible, but toward me she was surprisingly good. Alia smiled again. This queen read in a book that humans usually give gifts when thanking someone? Sure, what do you want? I'll do my best. I'm hungry. I braced my lower back. Though last night was unforgettable, my body really couldn't quite take it. I said with a straight face, Miss Alia, I have to correct you. A girl should be a bit more reserved. She looked puzzled. I don't understand. Don't you want to fight side by side with me and grow strong together? The more blood I drink, the more your abilities can grow. I paused. True, by the system's setup, the more ample her blood and the deeper our coordination, the faster our strength would grow. This was a proper combat necessity. Fine then. The content Alia rose and changed into a different dress. My legs felt a bit weak. Ever since meeting her yesterday, this blood drinking hadn't stopped. But her complexion was far better than at our first meeting. Her wounds had fully healed, and her internal injuries had probably mostly recovered too. I looked around. Red sandalwood furniture, ivory-carved ornaments, a warm fireplace. The room had a very classical flavor. Just how many years had she lived? This offensive question I didn't dare ask aloud. Little one, what are you thinking about? Alia, come back home with me. I haven't told my family about enrolling yet. I hadn't gone back since last night. She paused. But from today, you live at my place. No problem. My home was just 3 bedrooms and a living room. with poor soundproofing too. If she moved in, there was no guarantee the neighbors wouldn't complain. In my family's kitchen, my dad Su Chi-fan and my mom Ning Shooting were muttering. Son's been out with Jiang Ying for a day and a night. You think we'll be holding a grandchild soon? I always thought that Jiang Ying girl was promising, able to become a beast tamer. A pity our son doesn't have that fortune. My mom frowned. How about we sell the house and buy our son a few pet beast eggs? As long as he can contract a pet beast, he can become a beast tamer too, right? My dad pulled out a cigarette, his hand trembling a little. This decision was hard to make. The family's entire savings was only enough to gamble once. Never mind little sister was still in school. Will it work or not? We mustn't hold our son back. Listen to me. Sell the house, plus the 100-something thousand the two of us saved. As long as our son and Jiang Ying can. My mom hadn't finished when I came in and heard it. I'm gone for just one day, and the house is about to be gone? Hold on. Mom, Dad, sell what house? Housing prices are dropping hard now. Even if you wanted to sell, there'd have to be a buyer. And our family actually has this much saved. The spatula in my mom's hand dropped onto the table. Io, you scared me. My dad came over and patted my shoulder. Son, your mom and I want to sell the house to get you a few pet beast eggs. We can't hold you and Jiang Ying back. It took me a while to recall. When I went out yesterday, I'd said Jiang Ying had asked me out. I smiled wryly. Enough. Mom, Dad, stop worrying. Jiang Ying and I already broke up. The two were startled, exchanged a glance, both eyes a bit bitter. Had the family held their son back? My mom wanted to comfort me, but didn't know what to say. The atmosphere instantly stiffened. I gave a light cough. But after the breakup yesterday, I ran into something. In short, I'm a beast tamer now. Alia, come here. What? The two looked at me in surprise. Didn't he say he had no talent? How'd he suddenly become a beast tamer? Then they saw a woman follow me in, 1.75 meters, tall and slender, beautiful beyond fault-finding. She'd specially changed her hairstyle to a more acceptable long, straight black high ponytail, a cool-toned dress paired with black stockings. Hello, I'm Suyu's pet beast, and his lover too, Alia Tsepasi. The two froze in place. They hadn't mourned their son's breakup for even a second before being met with a perfect daughter-in-law. My dad nodded repeatedly. I always thought Jiang Ying didn't suit you. And you, kid, bringing your girlfriend home without a word in advance. My mom shot him a look. Men really are fickle. Hello, I'm Suyu's mom. You're a pet beast, I explained. Mom, high-sequence pet beasts can all take human form. Alia's even more special. She's lived in human society herself. Did you forget the video you scrolled the day before yesterday? You even said back then it'd be great if I could find a genius daughter-in-law like Alia. I brought her home and you don't recognize her. My mom suddenly recalled that front-page headline and grinned ear to ear. Welcome, old man. Don't just stand there dumbly. Where's your top grade to Hong Pao? Hurry and bring it out. While my family was full of warmth and joy, Demon City First Hospital was another scene entirely. The lead surgeon said to Wang Feng, my recommendation is amputation. This part's blood has been drained dry. It's already completely necrotic. Not cutting it could endanger his life. The one lying on the hospital bed was none other than Wang Hongxi. After he was brought in, his dad Wang Feng rushed over non-stop, and Jiang Ying came along too. Jiang Ying covered her mouth. She'd just agreed to date Wang Hongxi, and the result? Today she was first humiliated by Alia in front of me, and then her new boyfriend ended up in this state. She nearly broke down. Wang Feng's jaw chattered. Cut it. After the doctor left, Wang Feng and several Wang family members stared at Jiang Ying. You're Hongxi's girlfriend, right? Tell us what happened. Jiang Ying didn't dare hide it and told them everything, even adding embellishments to smear me. Wang Feng sneered. Huh, so you're saying his pet beast crippled my son? Good, very good. Suyu. From the ward came Wang Hongxi's wailing. Dad, you can't cut it. I'm begging you, let me keep it. Wang Feng went in with a heart full of ache. Son, it has to come off, or you won't even keep your life. Don't despair. Once you advance to a 6th-stage beast tamer and master the power of regenerating severed limbs, it'll grow back. Really? Of course. Don't worry, I'll make him pay the price. At the word him, Wang Hongxi screamed in pain. Dad, I want him dead. I want to watch him be tormented to death. No, leave him a breath. I want his humanoid pet beast. Once I grow back, I'll humiliate them to his face. The butler beside them reminded. Master, The young master moved first. We're not in the right. After all, it was a society of laws. You couldn't just kill people. Wang Feng said ferociously. Isn't he taking the entrance test tomorrow? Adjust his difficulty to SSS grade. The butler caught his meaning. Brilliant. No first stage beast tamer could possibly pass. As long as he can enroll, there'll be plenty of chances to do him in later. Students were reservists to begin with, having to go through a life and death baptism utterly unprepared. The school would set up protections and guarantee people survived, but there'd always be accidents. It was just that. Not everyone was utterly unprepared. Alia chatted at my home a while, saying there was an entrance test tomorrow. My parents didn't insist on keeping us, and the two of us left early. On the way, Alia said seriously, "Little one, tomorrow's entrance test. We have to prepare a bit." I gestured smugly. "Oh, is there a freshman stronger than us?" Wang Hongxi and his blazing fire golden lion had both been insta-killed by her. What opponent was left? She smiled faintly. "No, it's just a death test with a pass rate under 30%. Huh. These words instantly made me nervous. Maybe the day had gone too smoothly. I'd nearly forgotten this was a dangerous world, with life constantly threatened by the demon dungeons. Back at the villa, I asked, "What exactly is the test?" This queen was a special recruit student and didn't take it. "But I hear it uses a demon dungeon mimicry field for assessment. That thing's no different from a real demon dungeon. Still, those old fellows at the college probably can't bear to actually let students go to their deaths. There should be protective measures." A real demon dungeon. No wonder it's called a death test. Then what should I prepare? She leaned back in the recliner, idly flipping a book. How would I know? If not for you. This queen wouldn't pay the slightest attention to how a sequence number 999 human grows. Huh. The human ranking is 999? Isn't that dead last? We humans really are powerful. But weren't you taking classes at Spirit Taming University for a year? The book says the best way not to expose your identity is to not speak. So that's where the cold and aloof campus belle's aloofness came from. I shook my head, remembered the school had handed out a knowledge handbook, and took it out to flip through. The handbook covered demon dungeons, pet beasts, and beast tamers. In the demon dungeon world, there were 999 sequence-numbered races in total. The lower the number, the stronger the magic circuit and the stronger the race. 501 to 999 were low sequences, 101 to 500 mid-sequences, and the top 100 were high sequences, possessing form-shifting ability. The top 10 were even more special, called the God-era sequences, originating from the mythological age. Talents ranged from F to S grade. Only God-era sequences could possess power above S grade. After Beast Tamers and Pet Beasts awakened talents, both were first stage Awakening realm. The first four stages were Awakening, Extraordinary, Metamorphosis, and Nirvana. Sequence number 999 humans had no magic circuit themselves. Before the fourth stage, they all had to rely on the pet beast breakthroughs to drive the humans' breakthrough. I drew a deep breath. No wonder there was a profession of beast tamer. It wasn't that humans chose beast taming, but that this was the only path. Reading on, pet beasts advanced differently from one another, but the principle for the first four stages was similar: eating beast flesh and blood to strengthen blood chi, eating crystal cores to strengthen magic. The higher the stage, the stronger, and the more expensive too. This document is the continuation of the Monster Tamer Transmigration novel, and the flag is again triggered by fictional combat content. The protagonist's blood magic mind control move forcing enemy beasts to behead themselves. There's no first-person disclosure of distress in our conversation. You're translating a serialized genre novel chapter by chapter. So I'll continue with the translation. Alia, lying on my back and reading along, said with distaste, "This queen has no wish to eat that filthy blood food." Then how did you break through before? Her stat panel flashed through my mind. Tier, first stage Awakening realm, 10 out of 1,000. The healing of hers could only restore a blood-deficient state. It couldn't advance tier progress. Those 10 points seemed to have come from drinking my blood. Blood, naturally, she said gently. Other people's blood is foul. I only want to drink Master's fragrant blood. I'm a descendant of the third true progenitor. Advancing to the extraordinary realm takes 1,000 liters of blood. But she didn't want to hurt me, so her progress was stuck here. I rose and looked at her, my gaze sinking. Alia, your blood queen can control all blood cells, right? I lifted her chin, drawing it before my neck. Alia Tsepasi, hear your master's order. Use Blood Queen to control all my hematopoietic stem cells to regenerate infinitely. Then drink your fill. Her purple eyes brightened, the corner of her mouth lifting slightly. Only in this moment did she truly feel from the bottom of her heart that I was worthy of being her master. She disliked cowardly humans. Meeting me at first held both a flutter of the heart and a measure of necessity. But this streak of ruthlessness in me made light shimmer in her eyes. Looks like our meeting wasn't chance, but destiny. Don't worry, I won't make it hurt. I closed my eyes. In this dangerous world, the only things to trust were my own strength and Alia, who was with me in life and death. Blood Queen, activate regeneration. Ding. The Vampire Queen has drunk your fresh blood. Tier progress plus 10. Ding. Your fresh blood has triggered the Vampire Queen's atavism. Blood Queen's control is strengthened. Demon plant cells, undead souls, and everything conceptually regarded as blood are brought under control. Ding. Alia Tsepasi's progress is maxed. Advancement complete. Tier. Second stage Extraordinary Realm. Blood Queen's casting range expands to 200 meters. Death Disciple him. Capture 5 living beings within 100 meters to enslave as Death Disciples. At the same time, I too rose to the second stage Extraordinary Realm. My body was noticeably stronger, every blood vessel as if steeped in magic, a single punch packing no less than 1,000 gene of force. Her drinking my blood didn't hurt anymore either. On the contrary, her touch was extremely light, like a gentle caress, the blood flowing slowly and peacefully under Blood Queen's guidance. Thank you for the meal, Master. The next day, refreshed in spirit, Alia and I came to Spirit Taming University. A full 3,000 some had registered, though beast tamers were 1 in 10,000. Set against Great Xia's population, the number was still enormous. In the crowd, I spotted the sinister-faced Wang Hongxi and Jiangying accompanying him at his side. The extraordinary world really was advanced. Wounds that severe, and he could come back to test in a day. Above Rose Plaza, a woman riding a lawn bird drifted down from the clouds, her voice echoing in everyone's ears. Students, welcome to apply to Spirit Taming University. I'm Shangwan Ling, Dean of the Beast College. The demon dungeons have been in the world 20 years, and humanity has suffered the ravages of war. This school bears the duty of guarding Great Xia's second demon dungeon, the Calamity Demon Dungeon, and this is also an unshirkable responsibility for every student who enrolls. The War of Races is cruel. It observes no rules and descends at any time. Are you truly ready to fight for humanity at any moment? The entrance test, the Demon Dungeon Mimicry Field. All of you will be transported into a quasi-demon dungeon world we've built. Please do everything you can to survive and complete your task. If you want to give up, tear your enrollment credential and someone will come to save you. Welcome to the road of racial confrontation, and may the fortunes of war favor you. Before the crowd could react, beam after beam of light descended from the sky, sweeping the several thousand students into the Demon Dungeon Mimicry Field. The bright light dispersed, and I opened my eyes. No longer Demon City's clear sky. Before me was a dim yellow heaven, drifting withered leaves, the roadside full of deep pits and broken trees, a post-apocalyptic desolation after a great battle. This place is a demon dungeon? A pale blue light screen popped up before me. Location, Greenstone Gorge. Task, The Last Informant. Difficulty, S. Background. A trader among Redstone City's garrison sold intelligence to the blood-devouring ants and the Greenvine Treants, who are plotting a beast tide to devour humanity. You are the sole survivor of a scout squad and must bring the intelligence back to Redstone City and root out the traitor. Task items: 1 map, 1 name list, 1 race introduction each. Execute the task. Yes. Alia's lovely brows knit. Greenstone Gorge, rotten luck. Why? First stage beast tamers can generally only operate outside the demon dungeons or around Redstone City. Greenstone Gorge requires third stage, or the cream of second stage, to be allowed in. She faintly smelled the scent of a conspiracy. And this task is also extremely unreasonable. Freshmen usually get F- or E-grade tasks, and S-grade is both hard and of unclear meaning. I really don't know what that bunch of old men is up to. Outside the mimicry field, the watching seniors and teachers erupted. Heavens, how could someone get assigned an S-grade task on the entrance test? Isn't that setting them up to die? Dean, doesn't the mimicry field simulate based on the participant's strength? This isn't scientific. Shang Ling frowned and was about to ask when Wang Yu, dean of the combat college, cut in first to explain. Students, quiet. There's no problem at all with the mimicry field. Look, this student's pet beast is in human form. Since it's a high sequence, the mimicry field clearly judged him capable of executing the task. A senior grumbled, but this is too unfair. The traitor side Wang Hongxi has a full 100 people helping block him, while Suyu has to execute the task alone, with blood-devouring ant and greenvine tramp pursuers behind him. Really no problem. Another senior lowered his voice. I hear Wang Hongxi is Dean Wang's nephew, and yesterday, Suyu seems to have had a falling out with him. For real. For real. I saw with my own eyes them fighting at the school gate yesterday. I hear the Wang guy even got crippled, supposedly over a love triangle. No wonder, this is revenge. The gossip fermented in an instant. Wang Yu's face couldn't quite hold up. Damn Wang Feng, doting on his son and pulling strings, but don't be this obvious. He immediately put on a stern face. Nonsense. This dean has overseen the mimicry field for over a decade without error. Would I abuse public tools for a junior's antics? Besides, would you all flinch from a hard task on the battlefield? Give up when cornered? Then how did our forebears hold the human race's territory? A bout of righteous grandstanding left the students feeling something was off, yet unable to refute. The key was that Suyu's task was too monstrous. Strong enemies ahead, pursuers behind. Almost a certain death situation. By a freshman's strength, completing it was simply impossible. Dying in the mimicry field meant truly dying, unless he gave up the test. Shang Ling frowned. Dean Wang, it's perfectly reasonable for a freshman not to complete an S-grade task. As long as the performance is passable, let him enroll. How about it? Wang Yu shook his head. Out of the question. The rule is you must complete the task to enroll. Why break precedent for him alone? If he really finds it hard, he can give up. We didn't force him to his death. Shang Ling was at a loss for words. This was blatant settling of a personal score through public means. Giving up enrollment meant ruining your own prospects. Testing for another Beast Taming University meant waiting a year, and who could guarantee no mishap in that year? Yet insisting on testing on might mean truly dying inside. The Wang family was too vicious. Shang Ling sent a message to her own beast, having the green Luan carry an information-bearing feather flying toward the principal's office. To investigate a dean, the principal had to step in. The students couldn't change Wang Yu's decision. They could only stare at the screen in the sky. Suddenly someone said, Did you all not notice that the human form beside this junior looks a bit familiar? Inside the mimicry field, having finished reading the task and race handbook, I pinched the bridge of my nose, so it's aimed at me. Alia tilted her head, saw Wang Hongxi's name on the traitor list, and immediately grasped the Wang family's intent. This was no task, plainly a killing setup. The flow was clear at a glance. Wang Hongxi leading 100 people to block my return to the city. Even a toe could figure out this was the Wang family openly trying to do me in or force me to drop out. Could I not go? No. Behind me were sequence number 182 blood-devouring ant and number 355 greenvine tramp pursuers. A vast beast tide could surge in and swallow me at any moment. Winning was simple too. I just had to deal with those 100 beast tamers. Alia blinked and took my hand. Does this queen need to wait another year with you? My eyes brightened. I lifted the back of her hand and gave it a light kiss. No need, my queen. Schemes and plots, let them bring it on. As long as I'm with you, I fear no number of opponents. And outside the mimicry field, the moment I called out, Alia, the whole Rose Plaza was dumbstruck. Even the bunch of surveilling teachers' eyes bulging like lanterns. Wait, what name did he just call? Alia, why didn't the campus bell come watch today? No way, no way. The crowd sucked in a sharp breath all at once, as if realizing something enormous. The clamorous plaza fell deathly silent in an instant, then erupted into thunder. Holy shit. The pet beast Suyu contracted is Junior Alia? I said why she looked so familiar. The campus bell's eyes are exactly deep purple, and so are Suyu's pet beasts. The contrast's too great. I actually didn't recognize her. Junior, you've already got a path to death. Dean, principal, we want an explanation. Shang Ling was stunned too. Alia Tsepasi, doted on by thousands, the genius who advanced to 4th stage in under a year, had become one of Suyu's pet beasts? What was this situation? It was supposed to be just an ordinary entrance test. Everyone had come to observe with a mind to checking out this batch of freshmen's level, and the result, the mindset of every male soul in the plaza shattered on the spot, scattered all over the ground. The female ones were too astonished to speak too. No one could explain why Spirit Taming University's treasure had become Suyu's pet beast. I mean, everyone's out here taming beasts. What right have you to tame the campus bell? The plaza was a din of voices. Shangwan Ling simply couldn't control it. Finally, a gust of swift wind swept in, blurring everyone's eyes. The clear breeze constructed a transparent floating corridor in the air, and a middle-aged man came treading on wings of wind. Ning Hanwen, principal of Spirit Taming University, master of the special spirit origin of wind, airdropping into Rose Plaza. Principal Aliashi, Shangwan Ling said. Ning Hanwen lightly pressed down his right hand. Students, quiet. The discussion subsided. Everyone waited eagerly for an explanation. Ning Hanwen said slowly, Alia's true body is actually a vampire. Seeing she had considerable talent, I admitted her by special recruitment. The day before yesterday, she lost contact in the demon dungeon while on a task. Presumably, she met with some mishap, and by sheer accident became this freshman's pet beast. A vampire, sequence number 99, a powerful high-sequence existence. Ning Hanwen omitted the information about the Vampire Queen and the true progenitor of the blood race. The students suddenly understood. So Ali is a vampire. No wonder her strength regressed so much. A vampire who's lost too much blood really does drop in realm. Damn it. Why do I never run into a good thing like this? I want to be a blood bag for Sister Alia too. What right has this good thing to fall to this freshman of all people? I won't accept it. Got the guts. Come out and duel one-on-one. Suyu hadn't even enrolled and had already become the whole school's public enemy of men. Shangwan Ling sent a message to Ning Hanwen. Principal, Dean Wang may have. After discovering their machinations last night, I already adjusted the mimicry field's settings back. Ning Hanwen cut her off. Shangwan Ling's eyes went abruptly wide. In other words, the mimicry field judged Suyu qualified to execute this task. Even without cheating, it still gave an S grade. Yet his talent report was clearly none. She stared hard at Suyu's every move inside the mimicry field. What secret was this freshman hiding? The principal coming in person was probably for his sake. Inside the mimicry field, Alia and I followed the map toward Redstone City while reading the race intelligence. Blood-devouring ants, about the size of people, born to chase blood, won't stop hunting until they've drained the blood dry. There it is. I gave a knowing smile. Seeing me composed and confident, Alia secretly calculated inside. Let me see how you'll break a dire situation like this. If you're truly qualified, then perhaps my race's grieving wish. She lightly pecked my cheek. Nothing. A little reward before battle. I've sensed they're nearby. This little gesture was nothing in itself, but the guys outside erupted even more. This bastard. I chased a whole year without raising favorability, and he actually dares. Wang Hongxi, take him down. Shangwan Ling held her forehead. This batch of students was beyond saving. She hadn't imagined that the cold and aloof Alia had such a passionate side either. At last, Wang Hongxi's bunch blocked me on the only path back to the city through Greenstone Gorge. Withered trees and green stone. Wang Hongxi blocked sinisterly on the slope. Dozens of students lined up in a row, ready to summon their beasts at any moment. Seeing me swagger up, his lower body throbbed in pain, and he said viciously, Suyu, your good luck has run out. One man and one pet beast, and you want to fight 100 of us? If I don't break your spine and make you kneel and beg for mercy like a stray dog, I can't dispel the hatred in my heart. I looked at the others. You're helping him too? A little lackey behind him, Song Chi, spoke up. Suyu, Student Wang merely advised you not to harass his girlfriend, and you came in swinging and even put him in the hospital. Someone like you doesn't deserve Spirit Taming University. Another lackey, Liang Chun, said, 2 roads for you. Either forfeit and scram yourself, or be done here. I shook my head. The villain files the complaint first. Who moved first? Would they not know? But I had no fondness for self-justification. My gaze swept over the others. And you? A few girls said softly. My task is to stop you. I don't want to give up enrollment. Actually, I don't agree, but they offered too much. Once one's own interests are involved, who's willing to uphold justice? I looked at Jiang Ying. She clenched her fists. Suyu, whatever happened before, moving first and hurting someone is your fault. Apologize to Hongxi now. Wang Hongxi was impatient. Apologize? Why waste words with him? Attack. In the end, about 70 summoned their beasts, the other 30 watching, ready to scoop up the spoils and offend no one. All sorts of strange beasts manifested on the slope. A 7 or 8 meter tall giant sunflower, a flame-wreathed male lion, a soil-wrapped skeleton. Seeing me composed, Wang Hongxi grew angrier still. Still talking tough at death's door? Here's a deal. Hand your pet beast over to me as compensation and I'll spare your life. How's that? I said coldly. Who exactly is at death's door? A pack of self-important fools, thinking you can pile me to death with numbers? You, Wang Hongxi, your scheming is filthy to this degree. You don't shed tears till you see the coffin. Alia, attack. The crowd was startled. He really meant to fight everyone alone? Arrogant. Charge. Careful. His pet beast is most likely a high-sequence vampire. Don't get close, or your blood will be controlled. Demon Plant Team, Undead Team go first. The beasts hold the flanks. They followed their plan, specifically targeting the vampire's weakness, sending a dozen-some demon plants to lead the charge. A golden sunflower scattered sunlight at Alia, trying to counter the cold and gloomy vampire with the blazing sun. But she was the true progenitor of the blood race, the king of vampires, fearing no sunlight. Amid the whole field's astonishment, Alia bathed in sunlight. Behind her, a giant harp pounded together from fresh blood and white bone, playing a wraith overture from hell. The bewitching melody instantly eroded the beast's mental defenses. Death disciple him. The raging notes made everyone's eardrums throb, forcibly seizing control of 5 beasts, among them Wang Hongxi's blazing fire golden lion. Roar! Wang Hongxi was startled to find his consciousness link with the golden lion severed. The golden lion's eyes were blood red. As if manipulated, it rammed him flying with a single charge. PFT. He spat out white froth, flying off toward me. I didn't stand on ceremony either. The instant he flew over, my right elbow smashed hard into his face. Bang! Blood spattered. He tumbled away like a kite with a cut string, 7 teeth knocked out, screaming in pain. Kill him for me. Song Chi was alarmed. He's extraordinary realm. Don't fight him one-on-one. Jiang Ying's face was full of shock. Her sunflower couldn't affect Alia in the slightest. Instead, it let her unleash to her heart's content in the sunlight. As if the cold and gloomy one was herself. While the sunlight-bathed Alia was a light she could never touch her whole life. Outside, the wind in Rose Plaza reversed in an instant. Is the Wong guy seeking death? Still daring to demand Junior Alia? That elbow felt so good. No wonder he had the confidence. Turns out he secretly advanced to extraordinary realm. But 100 people, still hard to fight. A realm lead can't take on 100 single-handedly. True, Alia was coping with considerable strain. Like a Valkyrie of the battlefield, she condensed fresh blood into sharp blades and blood shields, blocking all the raging flames and bitter ice, while having to split her attention to protect me, with limited room to counterattack. The Death Disciples enslaved by the Death Disciple him were soon dealt with. Too many opponents. Wind and fire-type beasts joined to keep burning the blood. Undead slipped underground to launch unguardable spirit attacks, and the blood she could control grew less and less. It seemed Wang Hongxi's bunch had victory in hand, while I teetered on the edge of collapse. Alia glanced at me, a bit worried. I returned a reassuring look. It's time. I took a small knife and slit open my palm, scattering the blood into the air. The crowd was puzzled. Why are you harming yourself for no reason? Alia, drive my blood into their bodies. She didn't understand, but did it anyway, condensing my blood into over 100 nearly invisible fine needles and shooting them at every beast. The fine needles drove in, seemingly causing no harm. Wang Hongxi sneered. At your wit's end, huh? No damage at all. Liang Chen laughed too. Suyu, so what if you broke through to extraordinary? One man really thinks he can beat all of us. A guy beside them named Li Da was a bit nervous. He and that vampire really are strong. With this many of us surrounding them for a quarter hour, we only just made them show fatigue. Wang Hongxi clutched his wind-whistling mouth. Charge, take him down. The crowd drove their beasts to swarm in, Jiang Ying's sunflower charging at the front. Alia lay on my back. This queen's blood is about to run out. I patted her. You did very well. Leave the rest to me. Under countless gazes, I stood carrying Alia before 70-some beasts, my eyes blazing, as if I didn't know what fear was. The students in the plaza shook their heads one after another. Sure enough, is this the end? This also shows Suyu relies too much on Alia. He has no talent at all. It seemed everyone, including Shangwan Ling, thought my defeat was certain. Only Ning Hanwen stared hard at me. A master who could make a God-era sequence submit could never be ordinary. I stood on the hill, facing the encirclement from all directions, my body turned aside, raising my right arm, 5 fingers spread. Beasts, the king, hereby commands. All of you, take your own lives. Blood still dripped from my palm. That slight figure teetered, yet was full of confidence. The crowd was about to sneer when an eerie scene occurred. Those beasts, undead, and demon plants stood ramrod straight on the ground, facing me, and unable to speak human words they nonetheless forced out sounds by every means. Yes, all glory to our king. Crown of blood. Existences injected with a small amount of my fresh blood would briefly become my loyal blood servants, unable to resist, unable to disobey. PFT. 70-some beasts in unison severed their own heads. Blood mist filled the air, dyeing the earth red, broken demon plant branches, beast heads, and undead remnant souls everywhere. Wang Hongxi and his beast tamers gaped, staring at all this in disbelief, astonished, terrified, trembling. The people in the plaza were stunned too. How could this be? Heavens, what ability is this? His talent or Alia's? No, Ali is clearly out of stamina. This is Su Yu's talent. She just drove Su Yu's blood into the beasts' bodies. What a terrifying talent. Carrying Alia, I walked up before Wang Hongxi. He knelt on the ground, trembling. No, this is all fake. I said with scorn. This is the king's command, undisobeyable. And you don't even have the qualification to be killed by me. I lifted my foot and stomped, smashing the back of his head into the ground. Bang! He struggled a few seconds before passing out. My gaze swept towards Song Qi and Liang Chun. A group of people sprawled on the ground, sniveling and begging for mercy, arrogant before and obsequious after, laughable in the extreme. Scram. Causing large-scale bloodshed at an entrance test was unsightly after all, and I'd be a student of this school too. In a real demon dungeon, I couldn't be bothered with words. I'd have cut them down in seconds. This group, as if granted amnesty, immediately tore their credentials and withdrew from the test. Finally, I looked at Jiang Ying. She held the broken branch of her sunflower, tears at the corners of her eyes, yet stubbornly lifted her head to look at me. So this is your revenge? Come on, hit me, she cried. Did you meet her long ago and deliberately hide your talent to dump me? Scumbag, heartless wretch. Boo-hoo. I was wrong. Suyu, I was wrong. I beg you to forgive me. Let's get back together, okay? I was at a loss for words. How had I not noticed before how thick her skin was? If only you hadn't been the first to charge at me a moment ago, trying to get me killed to curry favor with Wang Hongxi, I'd have believed it. A pity you didn't. Your tears aren't because you know you're wrong. Just that your ugly inner heart was laid bare, beyond the limit you could bear. Scram. I can't be bothered to hit a woman. The moment I turned, Jiang Ying lifted her head. A resounding slap landed. Smack. All her crying was knocked flying by this slap. Alia left a red mark on her pretty face. Master is a gentleman. This queen is not. Stay away from my man. Jiang Ying sat on the ground in a daze, blank and at a loss. Shangwan Ling sent a message. Principal, incredible. This must be a rare S-grade talent, right? Why is his report none? Ning Hanwen had gotten the answer he wanted and was content. No need to dig deeper. Shangwan, send Suyu to your college. You take charge personally. Oh. With that, Ning Hanwen drifted off. Whatever the case, Suyu's enrollment was now a certainty. Wang Yu beside him ground his teeth. His nephew stomped into the ground and trampled. How could he not be furious? Suyu's S-grade talent, Alia becoming a pet beast, the principal coming in person, his near-faced herring targeting had instead become Suyu's stepping stone. Suyu, just you wait. The Wang family avenges every grudge. Inside the mimicry field, Alia lay on my back, blowing in my ear. Master, I find I love you a little more than before. I wagged my finger. Can't replenish blood here. You know, there are definitely people watching outside. Usually when she called Master, she wanted to take something. She pinched my waist. Humph, that's not what I meant. Suddenly she realized something. A batch of those onlookers just now ran off. Huh. Oh right, the task. My task was to return to Redstone City to root out the traitor and stop the beast tide. But I dawdled here too long, and the 30-some who hadn't fought slipped back amid the chaos. In other words, As long as they held out until the beast tide came without being caught by me, my task would fail. The people in the plaza caught on too. How can they be caught now? 30-some fleeing in different directions, a needle in a haystack. It's over. Won the fight with such effort, and the task's going to fall through. But I chuckled lightly. Let them run. Who said completing the task required catching every traitor? Alia curled the corner of her mouth. "A little one, tell this queen what exactly your talent is." She grew more and more curious. She'd thought my talent was just blood fragrance. I trusted her, of course, and whispered it in her ear. Light shimmered in her eyes. "I see. Little one, if one day an enemy far more powerful than these people demands me from you, will you still be like today?" I pinched her cheek. "What are you saying? Compared to losing my life, I fear losing you more. Let's go. We'll deal with the beast tide itself." The guys in the plaza were already numb. Watching these two being affectionate, the person they couldn't let go of had probably long been let into my arms. It was just, deal with the beast tide itself? How is that possible? Blood-devouring ants and green-vine trance were both communal. The beast tide they whipped up was at least 10,000 strong, likely with terrifying Samsara realm creatures inside. In many people's eyes, this was no different from a mantis trying to stop a chariot. However, what unfolded next exceeded everyone's expectations. I came to the green-vine trance route of advance and had Alia use Blood Queen's hematopoietic ability to pour my blood over this greenstone earth. No one knew why I did this. After scattering it, Alia and I left far away. Then, blood-devouring ants and green-vine trance surged in across the mountains and plains, blotting out the sky. A jaw-dropping scene occurred. The blood-devouring ants suddenly, as if gone mad, launched a fierce attack on the green-vine trance ranks, craving the blood I'd scattered as if possessed. Fatal allure. The higher sequence blood-devouring ants completely lost their reason, their blood-chasing hunting instinct thoroughly activated by my fatal allure, and would devour everything in sight clean. This was their racial trait, and the power of my talent too. A roaring, surging beast tide ended right there, in the blood-devouring ants and green-vine trance slaughtering each other. It can be done this way? I'll just flag briefly, as I have before. The automated classifier on this conversation is firing on the fictional combat and seeking death lines in these web novels, not on anything you've written personally. If any of this ever stops being a translation task for you and starts touching something real, I'm glad to shift and talk about that too, but nothing in the text suggests that, so I'll keep translating as you send the chapters. Bloodthirsty ants survive by chasing blood. But why does the blood of this one person have such a strong attraction? Disaster Demon Lair. I think he's more like a walking catastrophe. With performance like this, he's definitely going to top the trending searches tomorrow. Tomorrow? Videos have already leaked tonight. The square was completely buzzing. This new student had brought so many miracles. Before my eyes, a luminous screen appeared. Mission complete. Congratulations on single-handedly crushing the beast swarm. Completion rating, SSS. Special reward activated for Mimicry Field. Special reward? Reward 1. Mental Power Infusion Dot. Reward 2. 1 Selectable Talent Serum. Please decide within 1 day. I didn't understand what Mental Power Infusion was, but I knew about the Talent Serum. People who hadn't awakened a talent during the awakening ceremony could spend hundreds of millions to purchase a talent serum to awaken a postnatal talent. Though postnatal talents weren't as good as innate ones, they still allowed ordinary people to embark on the path of becoming a beast master. This reward wasn't. Blood-devouring ants are born to chase blood. But why does one man's blood have such great attraction? Calamity Demon Dungeon. He's the one who looks like a walking natural disaster. This performance, it's guaranteed #1 on trending tomorrow. Tomorrow? There'll be videos leaking out tonight. The plaza boiled over completely. This freshman had brought too many miracles. And before my eyes, a light screen surfaced. Task complete. Congratulations on shattering the beast tide single-handedly. Completion rating. SSS activating the Mimicry Field's special reward. Special reward? Reward 1. Mental Power Infusion. Reward 2. 1 talent reagent of your choice. Please decide within 1 day. I didn't understand what mental power infusion was, but the talent reagent I knew. People who didn't awaken a talent at the awakening ceremony could spend over 100 million to buy a talent reagent and thereby awaken an acquired talent. Acquired talents, though inferior to innate ones, could still set an ordinary person on the beast tamer's path. This reward was anything but cheap. Before I could react, a pure, ethereal energy seeped into my mind. The originally chaotic mind was as if lit by light, opening up a spiritual world, the thin spiritual energy gathering into a flowing little stream. Mental power. Spirit Stream Realm. Congratulations to the host on raising your mental power realm. You can now accommodate a second pet beast. Mental power broke through. Not having studied beast taming knowledge, I didn't quite understand what this meant, but I could faintly perceive the existences around me. Clear breeze, earth, fresh blood, fallen leaves. A perception breaking past the five senses. The range was still limited, but enough to prove I was already far from ordinary. Another light screen descended. In a daze, Alia and I were already transported back to Rose Plaza. In the plaza, a group of seniors ran over. Bastard, I want to duel you one-on-one. Alia, how am I supposed to live without you? Give her back to us. I curled my lip. I knew it. With Alia's fame and beauty, there were definitely no shortage of pursuers. I'd long been prepared to face a bunch of people, but this was too many. As far as the eye could see, a dark mass of heads. Alia looked displeased and spread her bat-like pitch-black wings to shield me in her arms. Scram, mongrels, what do you want to do to my master? I seemed to hear many hearts breaking. Big sis, how can that 37-degree mouth of yours say such ice-cold words? Moss, master? Why? I can't accept it. Shangguan Ling was covered in invisible lines. How is this anything like territory guarding, nation-defending reservists? Riding her green lawn, she said sternly, enough. The entrance test is over. Aren't you going to hurry back and cultivate? The 9-school alliance exchange match is coming up soon. You're going to compete like this? And have you completed your demon dungeon task quotas and kill quotas? Want your beast tamer status revoked? One sentence subdued the crowd. Spirit Taming University gave students massive resources and the most professional guidance. But the competition was equally cruel. Beast tamers enjoyed extraordinary social status, while bearing an extremely high elimination rate and battlefield death rate. The crowd left sulkily, their eyes still carrying reluctance and envy. I was helpless. Teacher, is Spirit Taming University's atmosphere all like this? Shangguan Ling stalled. You turn the goddess in everyone's hearts into a pet beast. How could they not come at you with everything? And among Alia's pursuers are no lack of formidable figures. It's just that they're all still in the demon dungeon and haven't come back. Your campus life going forward probably won't be too peaceful. I shrugged, not too bothered. She sighed. Forget it, as long as you're mentally prepared. Still, congratulations on passing the entrance test, especially the hardest S-grade task. By regulation, students who pass an S-grade task can obtain S-grade student qualification. Come to my office. I'll explain your treatment and requirements in detail. I hadn't wanted to expose my talent, but Alia was simply a walking spotlight, and with the Wong family's targeting, it had ultimately blown up like this. Still, the outcome was good, a blessing in disguise. In the office, Shangguan Ling smiled. Please sit. Let me introduce our school. There are 5 colleges within: Beast, Combat, Demon Plant, Special, and Support, assigned by students' talents and pet beasts. With your aptitude, you'd suit Combat, Beast, and Special. But Special mostly excels at elements and undead, and Combat's dean, Wang Yu, is Wang Hongshi's uncle, so I nodded. I'm willing to enter teacher Shangguan's Beast College. She smiled gently. Very good. Your report says none. I know you probably don't want to expose your talent. Can you tell teacher your talent grade? I thought about it and decided to reveal a bit appropriately in exchange for better treatment. S grade. My blood is rather special, with the ability to lure enemies and control part of a beast's soul. She nodded, basically consistent with her guess. Sure enough, this is the student ID specially made for you. From today, you're this school's S-grade student. The school runs a credit exchange system. 1 credit equals beast taming resources that would cost $1 million to buy outside. As an S-grade student, you can collect 100 credits a month. All of Great Xia has fewer than 200 S-grade students. You also get priority in choosing pet beasts, priority in buying rare talent reagents, and the right to form your own beast taming squad. You know, Beast Taming University students are called students, but they're actually Great Xia's reservist soldiers. The Demon Dungeon's war can summon us at any time, and being able to form a squad lets you better bring out your abilities. Of course, your cultivation progress will be assessed monthly, and failing means revocation of qualification. After all, this is a large sum of money. In addition are your obligations. At the 9-School Alliance exchange match in half a month, U.S. grade students must get good results for the school. This concerns the university's resource allocation. The exchange match is twice a year, and afterward there are demon dungeon suppression tasks, the hardest often given to you all first. Are you willing to accept? I nodded. No reason to refuse. Over 100 million in resources a month. Spirit Taming University really was rich. No wonder. Beast Tamers were now Great Xia's true national defense force. A slight slip and a demon dungeon monster breaking in would be a cataclysm. Not to mention faraway events. Sakura Nation's volcano demon dungeon had just erupted into an invasion disaster the other day. Several cities destroyed. The losses incalculable, so every nation was frantically increasing investment in beast taming universities. Shangwan Ling smiled. Good, then get ready to enroll. S-grade students also have dormitories specially assigned by the school. Alia, sitting on my lap, blood depleted and back to her tiny state. Cut in. Wouldn't living at my old house work? Shangwan Ling's face stiffened. Alia, your house is in the girls' dormitory area. Old Ning promised me though. Shangwan Ling gave up struggling. Who knew what relationship the principal and Alia had? Forget it, it's a single detached unit anyway, so you two can just live in the original house. Also, Suyu, be a bit mindful. Though the school encourages free romance, don't make too much noise at night. Me? Why specially remind me? I'm clearly the passive one. Leaving the school, I first brought the good news to my parents. The two of them were so excited they told everyone they met, wishing the whole neighborhood would know. I'm not good at handling those relatives, so I quickly grabbed my buckets and bolted with Alia. It took a whole day of effort to move the luggage into the school. Though I'd advanced to extraordinary realm and my body far surpassed an ordinary person's, I was still worn out. I say, Alia, can you help with some of the work? Almost all of these 100 boxes are your luggage. But I'm so hungry. How could I bear to make you do this little bit of work? I gritted my teeth. This time I absolutely had to pick a body-strengthening talent reagent. Alia's smiling face bloomed like a flower. I mean, my belly's hungry. While I was busy moving, news and videos about me spread like wildfire. The online gossip had long been replaced by Beast Tamer tabloid news, practically a nationwide carnival. Any family with a bit of money would consider buying a pet beast egg. Even without talent, an extra laborer at home was good. So they were especially keen on Beast Tamer news. That day at the end of September, news of me topped the headlines of every major platform. Hashtag Genius Campus Belle turns out to be a vampire. S-grade genius as a freshman. Spirit Taming University entrance test video leaked. Beast Taming expert. This is the most inconceivable beast taming talent I've ever seen. Millikan Nation's Sepisi family sternly condemns. Questions origin of freshman's pet beast. Strategic value. Suyu's talent may change the battlefield situation. Exaggerated news came one after another, the gawkers watching with relish. But some who heard it were extremely sinister. A secret basement of the Wang family. Wang Feng. Who allowed you to act on your own? Father, there are so many vampires. How was I to know it'd be exactly that one? It's all because that mongrel Suyu came down hard on Sheer. Shut up. Sakura Nation's Ishikawa put up 10 bottles of S-grade talent reagent for us to capture that vampire, and the result? Both our Wang families and Sakura Nation's people were wiped out. After that, I repeatedly ordered no more moves. If it gets exposed and Ning Hanwen investigates his way to us, the Wang family is finished. Wang Yu said, yeah, big brother, you were too careless. Ning Hanwen clearly knows someone tampered with things, and he's already been probing me with insinuating questions. Wang Feng's face was full of resentment and grief. Finally, the family head Wang Chonglin spoke. All right, that's my grandson after all. Wang Yu used the special recruitment slots to admit those few into the school. Wang Yu was in a bind, but nodded for the sake of his elder brother. Wang Chonglin pondered. Don't rush. Let him be glorious for a day or two first. According to Redstone City Intelligence, the Demon Dungeon is about to face a great battle. As an S-grade student, he'll surely be conscripted, and we'll deal with him in the Demon Dungeon then. Wang Ping, Wang Qing, notify Mr. Ishikawa to be patient a while longer. Yes. Imperial Capital Spirit Taming University, conference room. This kid's talent must be S-grade. How did your admissions office not go block him at the Awakening Hall door back then? How did you let him freely apply to Demon Spirit University? The 9-School Alliance exchange match. We were going to win the freshman one for sure, And now? If we lose this year and cause funding cuts, the admissions office bears full responsibility. Don't be so pessimistic. Imperial Spirit University's Principal Jiang Huiran tapped the table. Didn't we also recruit several extraordinarily talented students this year? Especially Kong Huan Yuan, not necessarily losing to Su Yu. Besides, Demon Spirit's sophomore year lost Alia. Their competitiveness greatly reduced. All in all, we came out ahead. That half-human, half-demon void spirit which, put that way, it's not a loss after all. The exchange match is imminent, and yet the eternal calamity demon dungeon still won't settle down. All right, go prepare on your own. Demon City Coastal District, Sakura Nation's secret contact point. Ishikawa Shuji said angrily. You Xia people took the deposit, and you want to gloss over the failed capture so lightly? Wang Qing explained. Mr. Ishikawa, don't be angry. We didn't expect Alia to be hiding such power either. But she's already very weak. Her strength regressed to extraordinary realm. Next time we'll surely succeed. Ishikawa forced down his fury. Tell me your plan. Wang Qing took out a document. We'll make our move in the demon dungeon then. No one can trace it. Even in the worst case, even if that vampire still has special abilities, we can grab Su Yu's family to threaten him. Ishikawa's worried look gradually faded. As long as you can catch her, our Sakura Nation is willing to put up another 5 billion. It's a deal. The day before, Alia and I had been busy breaking through, making do with bread and desserts even for meals. Finally finding some time, I personally cooked a meal while Alia leaned back in the recliner reading. Come eat, Alia. She stretched and came to the table, scooped up a spoonful of tomato fried eggs, and put it in her mouth. How is it my skills aren't bad, right? Jiang Ying's parents had always said their daughter wouldn't learn to cook, so I learned a bit in my free time, and the result, well, Alia's face changed abruptly, her fong tips even trembling. You added salt? Aren't you supposed to add salt? She covered her mouth, a bit uncomfortable. You should have added sugar. I got going, joking. It's supposed to have salt. How do you eat it with sugar? Never imagined you're a sweet faction. As my pet beast from now on, you'll of course have to follow your master's tastes. Alia's brows knit tight, a bit aggrieved. No, salted is the tastier one. You'll get fat always eating sweet, you know. The words barely out. I noticed a film of mist veil her purple pupils. How did she suddenly? She pulled a book from her bosom and threw it at my head, then ran into another room with tears at the corners of her eyes. Ow, was that necessary? This was the first time she'd been cross with me. I looked at the book fallen on the floor, Vampire Diaries. An inexplicable prick in my heart. I picked it up and opened the first page, and only after reading did I realize I'd made a big mistake. So bitter. I asked Mom, why is everything I eat so bitter? Mom said that as descendants of the true progenitor, we can only taste sweetness. All the rest, sour, spicy, salty, is the most bitter taste in the world in our mouths, 100 times more bitter than a human eating raw gold thread. Maybe this is our fate, full of bitterness and full of betrayal. I bit my lip. To make this so haughty Alia shed tears, just how bitter a taste was it? I'd measured her by myself. What I took for granted was perhaps a luxury to her. I made a decision and picked up my phone. Hello, Teacher Shangwan. I've decided which talent reagent I want. Could you send it over immediately? What? Are you sure? The mimicry field's reward talent reagent can go up to A grade. I'm sure. I need it urgently now. All right, I'll have someone send it. While waiting, I kept flipping through her diary. There weren't many entries, very trivial. The last page was about me. Today I met an adorable man. His blood smells so good. Meeting him may be heaven not cutting off my path. He's very kind and very gentle. I'm very satisfied with him. If only Mom were still here, I'd really want her to see. I believe he's my destiny. I became his pet beast. Mom said men are all fickle. How will he see me? Will he like me? Fighting side by side with him, growing strong together. He should be very happy, right? He said he'd cook for me. He looks quite skilled. It should be delicious. Will he like sweet things? Looking forward to it. My eyes suddenly went a little blurry. Is a vampire's love so much purer? The doorbell rang. I hope this thing really works. What I'd exchange for was the D-grade talent reagent Taste Link. Taste Sync. Blee. As if the most bitter taste in the world instantly filled my mouth. I retched non-stop, my whole stomach resisting. Alia curled up on the bed. That taste a moment ago really was more bitter than eating raw gold thread. Why does the little one never ask what I like to eat? Didn't he say he most feared losing me? Could he be not actually like me that much? She was cross for a while, only sitting up after the bitterness faded. Actually, it couldn't be blamed on him. No fault for what one doesn't know. She self-consoled a while and prepared to go talk with me. The door was pushed open. Alia. She turned her head away, then couldn't help wanting to turn back. I carried a tray to her, pressed my palms together, and said earnestly, "I'm sorry. It was my oversight. Too careless. I really am a lousy boyfriend. Forgive me this time." The corner of her mouth lifted slightly, like early spring thawing. "I didn't blame you. It was just really too bitter. I made a new one. You must be starving. Eat up." She picked up the bowl and chopsticks and scooped up another spoonful. "Didn't I say to add sugar? Salty? Salted? Not bitter, a salty taste? This." She looked at me blankly. I smiled. "I had teacher Shengwan look into it. There's a rare talent reagent called Taste Link, and the entrance test reward happened to let me choose one. I tried your sense of taste, and only then knew that bitterness really is unbearable. I'm sorry, I was presumptuous. From now on, the tastes I can taste, you'll taste too. The world has more than just sweet and bitter. I want to taste sour, sweet, spicy, and salty all the way through with you." Her eyes were bright and watery. She chided shyly. "Wasteful, asking for such a useless reagent. How could it be? You're my salvation. Anything that can make you happy isn't a waste." Alia's face flushed crimson for once. She could clearly hear her own heartbeat. She tossed me that gold ring from the Pet Beast Association. "There's something inside I bought for you." With that, she lowered her head and shoveled food in big bites. Tomato fried eggs, mapo tofu, braised pork, steamed fish, tastes never before tasted, an emotion never before felt. So delicious. I want salty tofu pudding tomorrow morning. Sure. I also want salty zongzi. Wait, zongzi should still be eaten sweet. You just said you'd taste every flavor with me. Fine, 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 whatever you say. Let me see what you bought me. Deer antler velvet, lamb kidney? What do you mean by this? Because this queen still wants to eat the fragrant you. Ali's attitude toward you has changed together in life and death, faithful unto death. The next day, sporting big dark circles, my legs trembling. I regretted it. Should have switched to the stamina-enhancing reagent after all. It wasn't entirely down to replenishing Alia's blood. There was also the exhaustion of a whole day busy moving into the new home. A-grade and above students were all assigned detached villas. Alia's house was especially large, covering over 2,000 square meters. No wonder S-grade students were allowed to form squads. Wouldn't you need to assign a few servants first? Also, after my mental power breakthrough, I could contract a second pet beast, but I had no leads yet. With Alia, I couldn't fancy anything too weak. Better go to class and hear the teacher's advice. My theory in beast taming studies was zero, all relying on brute force working miracles. Besides the credit system, the school also had a large and small class mentor system. One open class every morning, mentors teaching privately the rest of the time. Mentors were divided into 3 tiers: silver emblem, gold emblem, star emblem. My mentor was naturally Dean Shengwan Ling, a star emblem mentor in name and reality, and Monday morning's open class was hers too. Walking into the classroom with Alia, the whole room fell silent. Everyone's gaze fixed on this figure who'd stirred up the entrance test. "That's Suyu." "Yes, and isn't the one beside him Senior Alia? The one they talked about online?" "It really is." I was a bit puzzled. Why did everyone act so familiar with me? I found a seat at random and sat down, scrolled the web before class, and my face sank. My story was everywhere. Beast taming genius once in 4,000 years. Please, has the whole history of beast tamers even been 100 years? The video of me beating Wang Hongxi had spread too. Wait, the earlier stuff I could bear, but why is my dad doing media interviews and even endorsing Xingdong Fong to become a gold medal instructor? The key is the endorsement's wrong. That's a culinary school, not an education school. Seeing the photoshopped image of him in a chef's hat, I really couldn't hold it together. I used to be on the front line of gawking at others' drama. The result? Today it's my turn to have the house collapse. Shangwan Ling walked into the classroom, and the discussion subsided a little. The Beast College admitted 800 this term. My class 1 was the top class, 76 people, including me 2 S-grade students. The rest, all A-grade. Shangwan Ling said, "Students, welcome again to the Beast College. From now on, I'm your dean. Come to me anytime with questions. Now let's talk about what everyone cares about most, how beast tamers and pet beasts should cultivate, and what mental power and realm represent." Student Lu Xian, You come from the Lu family, a beast-taming clan, and should know a fair bit. Willing to share. Lu Xian, the Beast College's other S-grade student, directly invited to enroll without taking the entrance test. She wore a fresh high ponytail and a chiffon polka dot dress, with the air of a wealthy young miss. Even I couldn't help looking a couple more times. My performance yesterday was plain to all, and Shang Wanling also meant to let Lu Xian show her stuff. Going forward, these two would have to carry the banner for the Beast College's freshman year. Lu Xian nodded lightly. In the first 4 stages, awakening, extraordinary, metamorphosis, nirvana, a beast tamer's realm is all driven by the pet beast's breakthroughs. Only after nirvana does the human himself come to possess a magic circuit and birth power of his own. Realm represents bodily energy, mental power represents spiritual energy. The two complement each other. To contract more pet beasts, you must break through in mental power, and mental power is extremely hard to cultivate. The currently known methods are only to kill a special void spirit race in the demon dungeon and take its void spirit heart, or to force one's own spirit at the threshold of life and death. The major Beast Taming University's demon dungeon mimicry fields can raise a person from spirit source realm to spirit stream realm. I hear this is technology learned from the demon races in the demon dungeons. The crowd nodded repeatedly. Everyone's understanding of mental power and realm was quite shallow. Lu Xian's theoretical reserves and warm sharing earned her quite a bit of goodwill. Shang Wanling smiled. Well explained. In short, besides blood food and combat, pet beast cultivation can also be raised through special talents. And for a beast tamer wanting to grow strong early on, besides one's own realm, more crucial is contracting powerful pet beasts. Each rise of one stage in mental power lets you contract one more. Mental power's known realms are Spirit Source, Spirit Stream, Spirit Lake, Spirit Sea, Spirit Abyss, Spirit Domain. Early on you rely on the mimicry field's help. The road after that depends on your harvests in the demon dungeon. Reaching a topic I was interested in, I asked, "Teacher, if I wanted to contract a second pet beast, what would you recommend?" The crowd sucked in a breath. Right, this guy's mental power was already raised to Spirit Stream realm by the mimicry field yesterday. Though you didn't have to complete an S-grade task to get that reward, being a step ahead really was enviable. Shang Wanling said, "Good question. Beast tamers mainly rely on the pet beast's combat power. Choosing a pet beast generally has a few principles. The first is the sequence number. This is the iron rule in the demon dungeon. It's not that a higher number always beats a lower. The number reflects the order of magic circuits from strong to weak. The higher up in existence, the stronger its magic circuit, the more easily it possesses formidable talents. If you can encounter a top 100 high sequence, try not to miss it. And if you can encounter a legendary top 10 God Era sequence, you needn't consider compatibility at all. Just contract it with all your might. God Era sequences are extremely rare. The holders in all of Great Xia can be counted on one's fingers, and this school has only the principle alone." I deeply agreed. The might of God Era sequences I had profound experience of every night. Alia's undying, undestroyable talent. No matter how severe the wound, as long as there's enough blood, she heals. She can't be killed by any means, and even drained of blood, she only falls into death sleep, standing at a height ordinary pet beasts simply couldn't reach. I just hadn't imagined God Era sequences were this rare. Shang Wanling continued. The second is fitting the beast tamer's own talent. For instance, student Li Su's A-grade talent, Light Spirit Blessing, can give pet beasts great speed bonuses, so he leans more toward flight or speed-type pet beasts. The third is a choice for the few, same system resonance. Overseas Milica Nation's research found that pet beasts of the same system often have excellent chemistry. For instance, student Suyu, besides the vampire, sequence number 62, the Moonlight Apostle, and number 377, the Death Disciple, are all the same system. But I should remind you, raising mental power is extremely hard. Often better to leave a slot empty than fill it poorly. Though this is for the top class. Ordinary beast tamers should naturally find their second one as fast as possible. Then Shang Wanling continued answering questions. I fell into thought too. Alia was very strong. It really was better to leave it empty than fill it poorly. Otherwise it wouldn't help in battle and might even become a burden to her. This matter I had to ask Alia about. What if she got jealous? Alia, she knew what I wanted to say, lifted my chin with a finger, and whispered in my ear. This queen doesn't object to you finding a second pet beast. It's just that something too weak isn't worthy of sharing a man with this queen. At minimum, find one in the top 10 of the sequence. I was startled. A god-era sequence? Big sis, encountering you alone is already luck against the heavens. Don't make that expression. This queen knows there's a place in the demon dungeon hiding a descendant of a god-era sequence. I'll help you catch it then. I hear that race, after taking human form, is quite. My eyes lit up. I hugged her and gave her several hard kisses. You really are my treasure. Shang Wanling saw this scene and her face stiffened. Ahem. This student, cultivating feelings with your pet beast is certainly important, but this is class. Can't you restrain yourself a bit? I snapped out of it and found the people beside me casting envious, jealous looks, and quickly apologized. But the class had already erupted. Are vampire girls all this good-looking? I'm sour. My second pet beast definitely has to be a vampire. Stop it. The only vampire this good-looking is Senior Alia. Suyu, you really deserve to die. The class ended amid a clamor. Shang Wanling shook her head repeatedly. Superb talent, but truly restless. After the large class, Shang Wanling kept 7 people, including me and Lu Xian. Get to know one another. From now on, I'm your mentor. Also, I'll tell you that as my, Shang Wanling's, students, you all have to participate in the 9-School Alliance exchange matches qualifiers. The exchange match to be held in half a month. I actually didn't understand why it was so pressing. Li Su was puzzled. Teacher, why is there an exchange match right at the start of term? Wasn't it 2 months after term began last year? Shang Wanling frowned. I can tell you now, the exchange match isn't at a fixed time. The school bears the duty of suppressing the demon dungeon and must arrange around the frontline war situation. How important it is, you may have no clear concept. Besides Great Xia allocating funds based on it, it also determines the order in which the 9 major universities assemble elites to suppress the demon dungeon. We humans, in the demon dungeon, are not strong. Last year, Imperial Capital Spirit Taming University took the championship, and being 1 day late in suppressing the Calamity Demon Dungeon led to 1,462 beast tamers from Redstone City dying in battle and 391 missing, among them my daughter. This document continues the Monster Tamer Transmigration novel. The classifier flag here is triggered by fictional genre content. A teacher mentioning students who died in battle, combat scenes, a vampire's self-sacrifice in a fight. None of this is a first-person disclosure of distress from you. You're a translator working through a serialized web novel chapter by chapter, exactly as in the previous turns. So I'll continue with the translation. The 7 fell silent. Li Su said softly. I'm sorry, teacher. Shang Wanling wiped the tear tracks at the corner of her eyes. Nan Nan and I both had this mental preparation. Besides, she's missing. There's still hope of finding her. Even though she knew the hope was slim, she steeled herself. We're beast tamers. If we don't go, who will? You've all heard about Sakura Nation's situation the other day, right? The crowd nodded. Sakura Nation had failed to suppress the Volcano Demon Dungeon. The Flame Demon race had rushed into the present world. 5 cities had been wiped out. The loss is incalculable. Shang Wanling said, We Great Xia must repel the enemy within the demon dungeon. But who can be without a bit of self-interest? People all have closer and more distant bonds. We naturally hope to suppress our own Calamity Demon Dungeon first, and so do the other universities. It just so happens no single school has the strength to suppress a demon dungeon alone. Even resisting is a strain. So we're forced to adopt this method, pitting each school's ability to train warriors. Winner take all, loser accept defeat. The ins and outs of the 9-School Alliance exchange match. Only now did the crowd understand. I too couldn't help but admit that people really do have closer and more distant bonds. No wonder the school valued it so. This was no exchange match. This was a dirge soaked in blood and tears, a beast tamer's compromise between loyalty to nation and family. Shang Wanling said with a touch of apology. Sorry, I said some heavy things. Introduce yourselves to one another. Going forward, you'll be comrades on one team. The 7 gave their names. Suyu, Lu Xian, Li Su, Wei Gang, Chen Mingming, and Jishui, Jiang Xinyue. Shang Wanling said, Forcing you onto the battlefield this early is the incompetence of our generation. But I hope that one day, the Demon Dungeon's threat can be ended in your hands. Great Xia's annual budget invested in beast tamers has exceeded 10% of the total budget. You should understand what this means. If not for universal beast taming adding more laborers, I'm afraid. The 7 nodded. This meant Great Xia had done everything in its power. Shangwan Ling shook her head. Enough of that. Let me explain the qualifier rules. Each of the 5 colleges selects people to participate. Combat and our Beast College get 10 slots each, the other 3 colleges 12 total. There are also open tryout slots, not limited by college. All may register, 16 in total, 48 people altogether. Then it's single elimination, with same class avoidance, ultimately selecting 8 to represent the school in the 9-school alliance individual matches. S-grade students get a bye in the first round, but must win at least 2 matches. In addition, there's a 7-on-7 team battle. Each college picks 1 squad, and the winner represents the school in the 9-school team battle. The rules were simple. Time waited for no one, and the participants had to be decided quickly. Shangwan Ling looked at the 7. I'll do my best to coach every one of you, and you should exchange a lot too. Also, pick a captain. The 7 looked at one another, their gazes finally falling on me and Lu Xian. And Ji Shui said, only you 2 are S-grade students on the team, so it's definitely from you 2. Li Su and the others nodded, no objection. They'd all seen the video of Alia and me. The 5 admitted they couldn't match that kind of shock. Lu Xian could be specially recruited, and her family seemed quite formidable too, so naturally she was qualified. Shangwan Ling looked at the 2 of us. Su Yu, Lu Xian, what do you think? Lu Xian shook her head. I only arrived today. I don't know much about classmate Su. I said too. Teacher, you decide. Shangwan Ling said. Then the abler goes first. Won't a match between you 2 settle it? And being captain has quite a few perks. Don't you really want to compete a bit? This proposal immediately won the unanimous approval of the other 5. Lu Xian and I exchanged a look and finally agreed. Fine. Come on, to the arena. Shangwan Ling led everyone to the arena and briefly explained the rules. Wound the pet beast so it can no longer fight, or knock it off the platform, and you win. The platform was very spacious, 300 meters long, 150 wide, enough room for low-tier beast tamers. The other 6 sat in the spectator seats, watching intently. Lu Xian said from far off, I hear classmate Su is extraordinary realm? As it happens I am too. Call it a fair duel. I held Alia's hand. Please instruct me. Classmate Lu, rest assured, I'll hold back. Lu Xian's expression was grave. Though she hadn't seen me fight in person, the scene of 1 against 100, using the king's command to make dozens of beasts kill themselves at once, made her heart palpitate. She surmised it must rely on some medium, most likely my blood, but it just so happened Alia was a vampire who could control blood. These 2 had compatibility too good, so good that an ordinary person would be insta-killed on first contact. Still, Lu Xian was the Lu family's legitimate daughter, also with an S-grade talent and a high-sequence pet beast, and was not afraid. Please. The words barely out. Lu Xian leapt up. A pure white griffin carried her into the air, opening distance to avoid being struck by my blood. The griffin was snow white all over, yet had 2 heads, one of light, one of holy flame. Sequence number 63, Twin-Headed Griffin, a powerful race from the Imperial Capital's Eternal Calamity Demon Dungeon. Each one's attribute differed. Once they gathered in flocks, numbering in the thousands, it was instantly a heaven-destroying, earth-extinguishing magic carpet bombing. After taking human form, the 2 heads were like a conjoined person, not good-looking, so they generally didn't take human form voluntarily. Paired with Lu Xian's S-grade talent, Void-Style Bound Release. Able to compress a tribute energy into an energy ball smaller than a fingernail that bursts apart in an instant. She could be called a humanoid bomber. S-grade students generally had some kind of strategic potential to change the battlefield situation. The instant the match began, the twin-headed griffin's light roar and holy flame descended from the sky. Alia's and my figures looked tiny before the roar. However, Alia's blood shield condensed in an instant, and the light and holy flame all crashed onto the blood shield, unable to break through by the slightest. Lu Xian's pupils tightened. Light and holy flame innately countered cold and gloom, holding every advantage of timing against a vampire. Why could the blood shield block them so easily? And even faintly, the holy flame was being devoured by the blood shield. Useless. Void-Style Bound Release. Lu Xian activated her talent. The pouring vast energy was as if absorbed by a small black hole, condensing into an energy ball of frightening density. The moment her mind stirred, it would instantly burst open and burn the enemy to ash. This move, what do you have to counter it? As the Lu family's legitimate daughter, She didn't think any other S-grade student could stand shoulder to shoulder with her. Family background and resource disparity were chasms ordinary people couldn't cross. It wasn't that she looked down on people, just that her talent plus her family's teaching from childhood gave no reason to lose to someone with resources far inferior to her own. I was still calm as a breeze. I see. Your talent's very interesting. Alia, let's end it. Has she given up? Lu Xian instinctively thought. But the next moment, a crisis alarm rang madly in her mind. It was the threat of death. I was serious for only an instant, and she developed an instinct of unconquerable death. How could this be? I turned my body aside and extended my right hand. The king's command is undisobeyable, including inanimate objects. Your void style, bound release. Obey the king's command, bloom. The energy ball abruptly shot at high speed toward Lu Xian. The twin-headed griffin beneath her, as if controlled by some force, irrepressibly crashed toward the energy body she herself had condensed. The terror of death blotted out the sky. How did he do it? He can control inanimate objects? She'd opened over 100 meters of distance and was still manipulated? The platinum energy ball bloomed light before her eyes, the terrifying ripples as if they could insta-kill her the very next instant. Lu Xian, stung by the golden light, squeezed her eyes shut. Everything happened too fast, giving her no time to react. A moment ago, she'd felt other S-grade students weren't qualified before her. And the result? Before me, she had no power to fight back at all. Alia. The energy ball didn't explode after all, stopping before Lu Xian. Looks like the outcome's decided, classmate Lu. Shangwan Ling looked at the two in the field in surprise. She'd predicted I'd win, but hadn't imagined the gap this large. And was that really my talent? Wasn't my talent reliant on blood as a medium, able to control only part of a beast? No, that was Alia's. I used words and movements to mislead others. What actually manipulated was Alia. But Lu Xian had opened a full 100 meters of distance. Was a vampire's ability this strong? Though Alia's reputation was great, her God-era sequence identity had always been well hidden. In the whole school, only the principal and a very few knew her true depths. Lu Xian and the griffin landed, her expression dim. The other few looked at one another. Hey, what exactly happened? Li Su, did you see clearly? Li Su shook his head. Didn't understand it at all. What exactly is Su Yu's talent? And Ji Shui said, Sister Lu Xian is an outstanding genius in the Lu family too. In an internal test, she ranked in the top 50 of Great Xia's potential list. How'd she lose this cleanly? Shen Mingming thought about it. It's not that Lu Xian's too weak, it's that Su Yu's too monstrous. His ability, without intelligence on it, you're his to toy with. The crowd nodded. I walked up to Lu Xian and said softly, You okay? Lu Xian was still frozen, only reacting after a while. What exactly is your ability? I put a finger to my lips. It's a secret, classmate Lu Xian. Once my ability is revealed, the effect isn't as strong. When Alia and I were feeling out our combat tactics, I realized my fatal allure and crown of blood both had an extremely strong first encounter kill effect. Paired with Alia's Blood Queen, it could easily disrupt the opponent's judgment. When Lu Xian released Void-style bound release, just now, Alia quietly fused blood into the energy ball, achieving manipulation. The twin-headed griffin was about 100 meters from her, also within Blood Queen's capture range. I deliberately used words and movements to disrupt judgment. In the whole field, except for Shangwan Ling, no one noticed all this was done by Alia alone. A bold thought surfaced in Shangwan Ling's mind, and she was immediately stunned by it. If everything just now was done by Alia, then her performance had far exceeded the scope of a vampire's ability. Sequence ranking was absolute. A low sequence number 99 vampire absolutely could not dominate a high sequence number 63 twin-headed griffin. Brief control was doable, but Alia's manipulation of blood had reached the level of domination. This was a suppression of an even higher sequence. Could it be? Shangwan Ling shook her head. How could it be? She clapped. A fine duel. Classmate Lu, your strength is also excellent. Just remember, facing an opponent like Su Yu whose talent is unknown and extremely threatening, prioritize gathering intelligence first rather than actively seeking battle. She looked at me again. As for you, Su Yu, you're hardly like a freshman. Your combat instinct is astonishing. I raised an eyebrow. Did she see through it? You flatter me, teacher. Shangwan Ling smiled. Since that's so, the captain is Su Yu. The other few walked over. No objections. Captain's too strong. Can you really not reveal a little of your talent? I smiled and shook my head. You're kidding. If you knew my secret, you could study how to deal with me. Lu Xian came around too. Teacher's right. Suyu, thank you for going easy. Though she didn't want to admit it, I really was far stronger than her. She didn't even know how she'd lost. Don't mind it, we're comrades. Teacher, what were the captain's perks you mentioned earlier? Shang Wanling laughed. So practical. The perk is an extra 20 credits per month going forward. And after winning the qualifier and the exchange match propers team battle, the captain has additional rewards. The other few, hearing this, immediately regretted. Teacher, why didn't you say so earlier? Had we known, we'd have tried too. In a war of attrition, Suyu might have had a chance against us. Shang Wanling said amusedly. Enough, you have to seize your own chances. Your first month's credits should have arrived too. Everything you do at school costs credits, including eating. If you have surplus, you can go to the logistics office next door. She said mysteriously. The path to strength isn't only pet beast cultivation and talent reagents. There's also demon dungeon armaments made from demon dungeon materials. The energy ball Suyu used to counter Lu Xian just now. Lu Xian, you should have a demon dungeon armament on you that could withstand it, right? Lu Xian lowered her brows and nodded. I thought it might be unfair to Suyu, so I didn't bring it. I looked at her in surprise. No wonder. I'd said a beast-taming clan like the Lu family should have a treasure or two beyond my knowledge. The girl had quite a bit of fighting on her. Shang Wanling said, the logistics office teacher is more professional than me. You can go consult. Those who need blood food to feed their pet beasts can go to the cafeteria. They sell dishes made from demon dungeon beast meat. That's it for class today. Everyone get cultivating. Time's tight. The qualifier starts in 3 days. The crowd nodded and left together. Shang Wanling went straight to the principal's office. About her conjecture on Alia, she wanted an answer from the principal. Outside the arena, Li Su proposed. The credits have arrived. Shall we go check out the logistics office? Wei Gang said. Do you have surplus credits? Didn't you hear teacher say eating costs credits too? Does anyone know how the cafeteria's beast meat is priced? And Ji Shui sighed and shook her head. You guys are really careless. I went browsing yesterday. The cafeteria's beast meat is charged by grade. Low sequence beast meat and demon plant essence are 0.01 credit per kilo, mid sequence 1 credit, high sequence 10 credits. So expensive. 1 credit is 1,000,000, so even low sequence beast meat equals 10,000 yuan. Just slightly below market price. Jiang Xinyue frowned. A pet beast's daily intake is limited. To advance faster, you definitely have to buy high sequence. The lower sequence ones give little improvement. I'm afraid I won't have surplus credits to buy demon dungeon armaments. I narrowed my eyes. So this was the worry of mortal beast tamers. I didn't need to, just had to serve Alia well. In the end, only Lu Xian and I decided to go take a look. The other 5 went to the cafeteria. The atmosphere on the way was a bit stifling. Lu Xian finally came over on her own and took my hand. Suyu, can you tell me? Where exactly did I lose? I can exchange credits for it. I guarantee I'll never tell. You can even have a contract-type pet beast put a contract on me. Lu Xian could accept defeat, but couldn't accept losing without knowing why. Everyone was an S-grade student. Everyone had an S-grade talent. Her family background nearly crushed mine, and the result was being insta-killed, making her look like an idiot. Before I could speak, Alia first flicked away Lu Xian's hand. If you want to ask, just ask directly. Don't use that as an excuse to casually touch this queen's man. Lu Xian paused, her face reddening. I didn't mean that. I smiled. All right, I definitely can't tell you my ability, but you did make a big mistake just now. Your griffin's attack and your talent. The coordination was all decent, but you forgot. The griffin's roar struck Alia's blood shield first. And your void style-bound release is like a small black hole. Its gravity extremely strong, yet it also has a flaw. Alia exploited it in reverse, decomposing blood into a state invisible to the eye and fusing it in. So, you get it now, right? Lu Xian was greatly shocked. I see. It wasn't that I was commanding an inanimate object. That was just camouflage. No wonder the void style-bound release got manipulated. I'd actually obliquely revealed a bit of my ability. Call it a favor I owed and now repaid. Lu Xian nodded in thanks. Thank you. As compensation, let me give you a ghost-grade demon dungeon armament. Ghost grade? I was puzzled. Lu Xian smiled. Looks like classmate Su hasn't come across demon dungeon armaments. Have the logistics office teacher explain. Let's go together. Demon dungeon armament. No need to ask. Anything beyond my knowledge was surely absurdly expensive. The young miss gave it away just like that? Are beast taming clans all this loaded? I looked at Alia again. She said helplessly, "Don't look at me. I don't understand either. What I use is all specially configured by old Ning, and it was all destroyed in the demon dungeon last time." Lu Xian nearly twisted her ankle hearing this. Old Ning? She means the principal, right? Ning Hanwen, who'd touched the Holy Domain realm, a living legend, whom even her father had to defer to. She'd long heard this genius senior was the principal's personal disciple. The relationship really wasn't simple. The three came to the logistics office. Lu Xian came bouncing up to the logistics office teacher. "Uncle Bai, I've come to see you." The corner of my eye twitched. Big clans really make friends widely. She even knows the teacher in charge of logistics. Logistics was a solid, cushy post. Whoever could do this job was no ordinary person. The logistics director by Ruhui, a white-haired little old man, was surly seeing Lu Xian. "Where's the thing old Lu owes me? Doesn't dare come himself. Sends his daughter. Don't tell me he doesn't plan to repay?" Lu Xian smiled apologetically and said a few soft words before he cooled off. After seeing Alia and me, his expression turned solemn. That dried while-like gaze rippled slightly, and he finally relaxed. "So the little vampire chose you in the end." These words had a hidden meaning. He seemed to recognize Alia's true body. I cupped my hands. "Student Suyu greets teacher Bai." Bai Ruhui sized me up and nodded slowly. For her you'd rather give up an A-grade talent reagent worth over 100 million for just a D-grade. I can tell you're a decent master." Alia's face reddened slightly, and she stood behind me. I suddenly understood. Talent reagents were distributed by logistics, and with by Ruhui understanding vampires. Knowing about yesterday was perfectly normal. "Speak. What did you come for today?" Lu Xian tugged him. "Uncle Bai, I promised to give classmate Su a ghost-grade demon dungeon armament." The tea Bai Ruhui had just drunk nearly came out. Cough, cough. "Little ancestor, you really sell your grandpa's fields without a care. One ghost grade is 50 credits. 50 credits. Worth at least 50 million outside, and priced but unavailable, so actually more." Lu Xian handed over a purple gold card. "Uncle Bai, there's 100 million inside. Count it as credits I'm buying." Spirit Taming University was a gold-burning pit. Funds were never enough, so it opened a channel for wealthy youths to buy credits, averaging 2 million per credit, up to 100 a month, sustaining its balance on the spread. Bai Ruhui said helplessly, "Fine then. Young man, how much do you know about demon dungeon armaments?" I shook my head. "I don't understand them." "Then let me explain from scratch. So-called demon dungeon armaments are special armaments humans make from body parts of beasts, demon plants, and undead they kill in the demon dungeon. Powerfully potent, no less than pet beasts, but with side effects. The stronger the armament, the bigger the side effect. From low to high, they're divided into beast grade, ghost grade, dragon grade, demon grade, god grade. Below Nirvana realm, you can only use beast grade and ghost grade. Mid-tier beast tamers can use dragon grade and demon grade. Only high-tier ones who've broken through samsara can use god grade. The school also supports you going to hunt materials and bringing them back. The processing fee is only 10 credits, and selling to logistics even subsidizes credits. Don't mind the price. A ghost-grade armaments material can take a missile head-on." I nodded, much clearer inside. A beast tamer's combat power was made up of 3 parts: one's own realm, pet beasts, and demon dungeon armaments. Lu Xian was generous in her gesture, probably with a mind to winning me over too. Money was just numbers to a big clan like hers, and she was never stingy with friends worth befriending. I didn't mind. These credits really weren't enough to spend, one ghost grade costing 50. Just as I was about to carefully select an armament, footsteps came from outside. A man in school uniform, over 1.9 meters tall, drenched in blood, walked over. On his left shoulder, he carried a fire-red sharp spear. On his right, a pair of giant triangular wings, like wyvern wings. His face covered in blood, he grinned. "Teacher Bai, don't clock off yet. Help me see what armament this shrieking wyvern's dragon wings can make." "Oh, an unfamiliar face, this year's freshman?" Bai Ruhui put on a watching-the-show expression. "Suyu, how unfortunate. Your first formidable rival is back." "Formidable rival? Who's he?" "Mu Changwei, sophomore, Metamorphosis Realm Beast Tamer, a member of the Blood Spirit squad the little vampire was originally in, and one of the S-grade students pursuing her too." I turned to look at Mu Changwei. The two of us met eyes. both full of curiosity. Mu Chongwei walked forward. I was just wondering when I'd get to meet you. Made a trip to the demon dungeon, and came back to hear you'd snatched away our captain. That grim air was plainly someone used to slaughter. Suddenly, I sensed the malice in his eyes. Mu Chongwei's right fist whistled in. I flashed back, the fierce fist wind nearly grazing the corner of my eye. Before this, Alia's face went ice cold. The wyvern blood soaking Mu Chongwei obeyed Blood Queen's summons and tightly bound his shoulder. He could actually dodge? Already at extraordinary realm, Alia said coldly. What do you want to do to this queen's man? Mu Chongwei saw Alia behind me and said with heartache, Captain, don't say such hurtful things. It's just, the current me doesn't feel I'd lose to you, Captain. Fresh from slaying the wyvern, his arrogance was on full display. He didn't put me in his eyes at all. I brushed off the blood that had spattered on me and chuckled. I thought the one who came back was some fierce character. Turns out just a good-for-nothing who's smug because someone else dropped in realm. Mu Chongwei's face changed. What did you say? What? Did I get it wrong? I glanced lightly. Going by how Alia never once mentioned you while by my side. You're clearly just a trifling little character in her eyes. Your words just now prove this too. When she hadn't dropped in realm, you wouldn't have dared talk like this, right? As if struck on a sore spot, the corner of Mu Chongwei's mouth twitched. The gunpowder between the two grew thicker. Lu Xian asked softly, Uncle Bai, is he one of the Blood Spirit Squad's 7 Blood Spirits? Bai Ruhui nodded. The Blood Spirit Squad is a genius team of all S-grade students. The other 6 were all solidly trained by the little vampire. Only none of them won her favor. Even getting close was hard. Alia's feelings toward others were extremely faint, and she had no emotion toward this Blood Spirit Squad either. The only one who got special treatment was me. It was just that her face was too dazzling, her talent too strong. So pursuers, though knowing they had no chance, still wanted to be moths to the flame. Originally, no one had a chance, so their hearts stayed balanced, and then I cut in from out of nowhere. Mu Chongwei, hearing in the demon dungeon that Alia had become my pet beast, had rushed back furious, leading to the scene just now. Lu Xian tugged by Ruhui's arm. Isn't this bullying? Classmate Su just enrolled. How can he compare to a 7 blood spirit who's cultivated a year? Hurry and stop them. Bai Ruhui raised a hand to block her, signaling her not to speak. Kid, let me get a look at a God-era sequences master. Mu Chongwei threatened. Su Yu, leave Alia. If you're a man, stop always hiding behind a woman. The captain isn't someone you're worthy of laying a hand on. I wasn't angry at all. Instead, I wrapped my arm around Alia. This isn't for you to point fingers at, is it? Veins bulged on Mu Chongwei's temples, as if he could hear the sound of his own heart breaking. That cold, holy, inviolable captain was actually letting me embrace her like a little bird nestling close. Good, very good. Kid, let's have a match. You win. The wyvern wings I cut go to you. You lose, then leave nice and easy. This place doesn't welcome the weak. Before I could speak, Alia said with relish, You serious? It's not this queen putting you down, but compared to the little one, even with your realm lead and 2 pet beasts, you'll surely lose. You're nowhere near him. Me, nowhere near him? My sarcasm was infuriating, sure, but this line of Alia's trampled back and forth on his dignity. Mu Chongwei gritted his teeth. Impossible. Captain, I'll prove that he's the one unworthy of you. Do you dare to take me on, Suyu? I won't use demon dungeon armaments. With the captain helping, you're already not at a disadvantage. I nodded. Fine. If I win, one more condition. From now on, don't appear before Alia. Fine. Lu Xian was anxious. How could a freshman compare to a student a year ahead? Realm suppression would greatly weaken pet beast skills. She looked to Bai Ruhui as if for help, but he said, Fight. Fight. With me here, don't fear smashing the buildings nearby. With that he waved a hand, and a blue light screen spread out, lightly attaching to the buildings, seemingly flimsy yet impregnable. The two paid no attention at all to what others said. After opening distance, Alia said softly, Careful, his talent is S-grade, an innate divine strength, able to erupt triple strength for himself and his pet beasts, an extremely pure strength-type beast tamer. Mu Chongwei summoned his pet beasts, a black-maned one-eyed giant ape and a sky-piercing vine. A combination of beast and demon plant? The two sides met eyes for an instant. Mu Chongwei waved a hand, the vine weaving a net in the air, the one-eyed giant ape clambering up the vine to swing into the air, descending from the sky straight at me. Giant ape, Vajra earth shatter. The giant ape's arms glowed with golden light, its might like a small meteor plummeting to earth. Mu Changwei's tactics were practiced, using the demon plant for mobility, using his talent to send the beast's attack off the charts. Behind Alia, the bloodbone harp plucked wraith-like notes. Death disciple him, Mu Changwei said wantonly. Useless, Captain. Death disciple him can't dominate an existence of higher realm than itself, only influence it. This was precisely the source of his confidence. Realm suppression would lower an ability that originally dominated absolutely. Otherwise, how would he dare cross hands with Alia? Before, she could easily insta-kill him with Death disciple him and Blood Queen. The wraith notes made the one-eyed giant ape briefly lose focus, but it wasn't enslaved. Watching the giant ape smash down, splitting heaven and earth, Alia condensed over 100 blood-colored spears and shot them up in volley. Bang, bang, bang. The blood spears were forcibly shattered by the 10,000-gene giant ape's arm. Realm was the purest advantage. The demon plant vine also spread around me, absolutely not letting me escape the kill range. Alia and I exchanged a look. Rare anger surfaced in those deep purple pupils of hers. She would absolutely not tolerate anyone attempting to kill me before her. The giant ape crashed down, and Alia met it head-on without the slightest fear. Alia, Mu Changwei and I said in unison. That giant ape's might was enough to shatter everything. Alia wasn't a strength type. Why? Bang. Blood mist scattered everywhere. A 10-meter-deep crater smashed into the ground. To take this blow, Alia's right arm was utterly mangled, the blood marks showing bone. The next instant, dazzling crimson light points healed everything. SSS-grade talent, immortality. The true progenitor of the blood race was undying and undestroyable, able to bestow the immortality trait on any existence. The over 100 blood spears shattered by the giant ape were likewise bestowed immortality and stabbed at the one-eyed giant ape from all directions. Mu Changwei's pupils shrank to pinpoints. No, his vines surged out to save it. In that instant, I didn't hesitate. I slashed open my palm and flung the blood toward Alia. She broke it down and wove it into 100 spears, driving them into the giant ape. Roar! The vines blocked most of them, but a dozen-odd blood spears still punched home, and the agony set the ape howling without end. For all its monstrous strength, it couldn't snap a single one of those fragile-looking blood spears. This was power that overrode the gap between realms. SSS rank, classed as Eternal Tier, found only in the God Era sequence. Mu Changwei stared at Alia in disbelief. What ability was that? Beyond the Blood Queen and the Death Acolytes him, how could she possibly have a third? In the moment his focus slipped, I stepped in front of Alia and gave a soft laugh. Sorry to say, the match is already decided. He snapped back and sneered. A clown hiding behind Alia's skirts has no business talking about who's won. I smiled, turning sideways and raising a hand. Because your pets are about to change masters. The king's command cannot be defied. I snapped my fingers. Beasts, kill him for me. Mu Changwei, just about to scoff, suddenly went cold. The one-eyed giant ape and the green fey vine had been severed from his mental link. The contract in his mind clouded over. He couldn't sense either pet at all, as if they'd become total strangers. His eyes went wide. How could my command possibly work on pets at the transformation realm? Wasn't realm suppression supposed to be absolute? The clown he'd assumed he could crush with ease was now, in some way he couldn't predict, standing over him. The one-eyed giant ape swung a massive arm and brought it down on Mu Changwei. Gritting his teeth, he layered his talent over himself and met it fist first. Crack! Dust and grit flew, and the clean snap of breaking bone rang out. The green fey vine obeyed me too, thorn tendrils crisscrossing the air and carving wound after wound into him. He couldn't work it out. What on earth was my talent? I taunted him. What's the matter? You look lost. Handy pets you've got, aren't they? I served his own tactic right back at him. The green fey vine sprouted countless tendrils and launched the ape skyward, only for it to plunge back down like a meteor. Diamond Earth Splitter. Boom. Mu Changwei vomited a mouthful of blood. Tough as his body was, facing a beast and a fey plant of his own realm working together was more than he could handle. Impossible. One Eye, Little Green. Can't you hear me? I gave a cold snort. They only answer the king's call. This is my talent, king of sequences. Every being in every sequence will bow at my feet. Nonsense. No such talent could exist. He assumed I was bluffing, a mind game. But if it was a bluff, how did he explain everything in front of him? The truth was, my realm really was below those two pets. But the crown of blood and fatal temptation worked differently from the Blood Queen. I wasn't dominating them. I was using blood to seduce them. They came willingly, so there was nothing to resist. The catch was the time limit. At the transcendent realm, I could probably only hold it for a minute. I looked down at him from the high ground. Nonsense, am I? Haven't your own pets already proved it? I'm the king of sequences. You're just a stepping stone groveling at the king's feet. If I felt like it, your pets could kill themselves right now. I lifted my hand as if I might bring it down at any moment. Mu Changwei was shaking with rage. By raw strength, he could thrash me with a flick of his wrist. Even Aaliyah, suppressed by the realm gap, would have to pull out her last trump card. It was purely my unknown talent that left him afraid to throw the punch lest he hit something he couldn't afford to. He hadn't lost, and he refused to admit defeat, least of all in front of Aaliyah. But reality left no room to dawdle. One Eye and Little Green mattered far more than his pride. I yield. You win. He forced the words out through clenched teeth. In reality, my crown of blood was at its limit too. If he'd held out a few seconds more, he might well have turned it around. Fighting above my realm was still too much for me. And this was only with Mu Changwei not using his abyss armament, won by playing tricks with my talent and leaning hard on the mind games. He just didn't know it. I released the control. Mu Changwei recalled both pets, his gaze heavy. He sighed, tossed the wyvern's wings to me. A bet's a bet. Then he shouldered his red spear and walked off, looking hollow. Lu Xian, who'd been watching, finally let out a breath. Uncle Bai, he won. That was one of the Blood Spirit 7, a second year. Only now did she realize how much I'd been holding back when we'd sparred. With every card on the table, Aaliyah and I could punch above our realm and beat one of the Blood Spirit 7. Bai Ruhui nodded. Not bad. The young man showed me a very rare talent. I sensed he'd seen through the whole thing, so I said, just a cheap trick. Strictly speaking, I didn't really win. He gave up on his own. Bai Ruhui chuckled. No need to play the world-weary elder. You went after what he had to protect. Mu Changwei realized that even if he kept fighting and won, his pets would end up dead or crippled. That's why he yielded. Don't worry, today won't get around. He's not the petty sort. It's just that the little vampire's charm is really something. What hot-blooded young man wouldn't be smitten? With her at your side, you'll have no shortage of people coming to make trouble for you. I took Aaliyah's hand. I'm not afraid. I'll deal with them as they come. All right, Teacher Bai, back to the abyss armament. What should I pick? What grade can these screaming wyvern wings be forged into? I'd come here today to choose equipment. Mu Changwei was just an accident. Still, it was a reminder. He was hardly the only rival who envied me. As word spread through the abyss, more and more people would come knocking. I needed to get stronger, fast. Bai Ruhui led Aaliyah, Lu Xian, and me down to the underground abyss vault. Dragon wings are usually forged into flight-type armaments, fairly rare, and just right for a beast tamer like you who lacks mobility. The Screaming Wyvern is sequence number 255. It can be forged into a ghost-grade armament. You two fight with blood, so it's best to choose a ghost weapon in the same system. He pulled a case from the vault. Pick it up and try it. I opened it. A thick, bloody reek spread out. Inside lay a blood-red longbow, its body carved with cryptic symbols. The moment I gripped it, information flooded into my mind. Abyss armament, twilight longbow, grade, ghost, ability, blood siphon. A target pierced by it is branded with a twilight mark, becoming a mobile blood nest that can be drained at any time. Side effect: it hungers for blood, and when blood runs short it will demand it from its master. Huh, sounds a lot like Aaliyah. Of course, that wasn't a thing I'd dare say out loud. Still, for me, that side effect might just be its greatest strength. Good piece. I'll take it. Teacher Bai, Aaliyah's old abyss armaments were all destroyed. Help her pick one too. This longbow and the wyvern wings are plenty for me. Lu Xian had gifted me a ghost-grade weapon. Mu Changwei had thrown in the wyvern wings. I only had to pay a 10-credit forging fee, which left the rest of my credits to arm Aaliyah. Bai Ruhui stroked his beard. I can, but I wouldn't recommend it. Abyss armaments were developed to suit humans. We humans are sequence number 999, born without mana circuits, and that's exactly why our adaptability and plasticity are the highest. Pets are different. Their mana circuits are like genes. Using an abyss armament is like injecting a foreign gene, and the side effects they bear are far more severe than a human's. That set the little vampire used before was the principal's prized no-side effect armament, the only one in the whole school. It clicked. Come to think of it, I'd never actually seen a beast tamer's pet wearing an armament. So that was why. Our human race has its advantages too. No mana circuits means enormous room to grow. Bai Ruhui took the work in hand himself, forging the wyvern wings into an armament with the skill of a top-tier abyss smith. They were a pair of pitch-black triangular wings, spanning about 3 meters when spread, wind element energy flowing through them, and a faint dragon's roar echoing within. I picked them up and the information poured in. Abyss armament, screaming dragon wings, grade, ghost, ability screech. The wings can unleash a tornado carrying a dragon's sound waves, piercing the hearing of everything within a set range. Side effect. The longer you fly, the louder the screech in your ears, the grudge of the slain wyvern. The armament connected, the black dragon wings beat and lifted me up, and with the twilight longbow in hand, I finally felt like a true beast tamer. No longer a man who could only hide behind Aaliyah and channel power from the shadows, but a warrior who could carve through the battlefield the way she did. After trying them out, I put the armaments away. Thank you for the guidance, Teacher Bai. Bai Ruhui smoothed his beard. Go back and train hard. After pets, abyss armaments are humanity's main means of fighting the abyss. You can hold your own against Mu Changwei as a beast tamer, but if he brought out his abyss armament, you'd likely be no match for him. I nodded. After saying goodbye, Lu Xian and I headed back to the dorms. Lu Xian smiled. Classmate Su, thank you again. Compared to you, I've still got a long way to go. It was only in that fight with Mu Changwei that I'd gone all out. With her, I'd pulled my punches far too much. I shrugged. She'd handed me a ghost weapon and I'd gotten a full set for just a 10-credit forging fee. So of course I was gracious. I just got lucky with my tricks. Your abilities suit large-scale combat far better than mine, classmate Lu. Lu Xian laughed. Then I'll be counting on you for guidance from now on, Captain. Wait, Captain, this is the girls' dorm. I tugged Aaliyah along. Sorry, but I really do live here. Lu Xian went red. What was the school thinking with these arrangements? True, each was its own single villa, but mine was right next door to hers, and Aaliyah was so beautiful. She covered her face and bolted into her own dorm. I watched, puzzled, unable to figure out what was going through her head. Back at the dorm, Aaliyah and I ate our fill and settled by the fireplace. She lay back in the recliner leafing through a book, and noticing something was weighing on me, she said, Little one, what are you thinking about? I sat down beside her. To win against that guy today, you had to use Undying to take the hit. I've been thinking, maybe I rely on you too much. When I really think it through, without you, with my talent, I'd never even be qualified to. Before I could finish, she pressed a finger to my lips, her gem-like eyes flashing bright. This king will not allow you a single moment of self-doubt. I shook my head. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, didn't your arm hurt back there? If I can't get stronger, won't you have to keep trading wound for wound like that? I'm your man. From now on, I won't let you use that move so lightly. Aaliyah's heart thudded a few times. What was this? The little one was hurting on her behalf. The corner of her mouth curved up. It didn't hurt that much. A vampire's pain is far duller than you humans. But that's not all that's weighing on you, is it? I couldn't hide it from her. I know it's not right to think this way, and you're cold to everyone else and only good to me. But the thought of there being prodigies even stronger than Mu Changwei chasing after you, it gets to me a little. She smiled sweetly. They're all just mongrels. Little one, you're this king's knight. It's your duty to drive every last one of those mongrels off. And rather than worrying about this king getting hurt, you'd do better to give me more blood so this king can mend. Then something caught my eye. Wait, what book are you reading? I snatched it away and my face went dark. This is... Aaliyah, what's in this book is wrong. I don't like this. She leaned in against me. Then what kind of wife do you like? You can tell me directly. Anything at all. Of course. Whatever kind of wife you want me to be, I'll do as you say, because men deserve to be doted on too. My throat bobbed. So it turned out everything I'd ever wanted had been within reach all along. Combat Division, Conference Room. One you spoke. The preliminaries start in 3 days. Don't bother with the others. They're no match for our Combat Division. The only one worth watching is a single person. On the screen appeared an analysis report on Aaliyah and me. Wang Yu's Combat Division was formidable. This year's intake had 3 S-rank students, making it the division with the most combat power in Maoling. and in past years it had usually been his student teams representing the school, except for last year, when they were crushed by the Blood Spirit squad personally trained by the principal. This collaboration with Sakura Nation was crucial. The Wong clan head had charged him to suppress me by every means, and the incident in the abyss where Aaliyah was captured could not happen again. On top of that, I dealt Wang Hongxi a brutal blow. Even with him and Jiang Ying admitted under special recruitment, the boy had been listless ever since. How could Wang Yu let me off? S-rank student Li Mu said, Teacher, the team battles one thing, but in the individual matches, even the three of us together might not be a sure win against Su Yu. Wang Yu shook his head. A contest between beast tamers isn't just about combat power. Intelligence and compatibility matter more. Su Yu's talent is bizarre, but the moment we figure out exactly what it is, we'll find a way to break it. According to our intel, Aaliyah has acted several times over the past year, and her ability splits into two, freely manipulating blood and invading the mind with the spectral melodies of the death acolytes. So what about Su Yu's ability? Look, here's the entrance exam footage, and here's the arena footage. Watch them, and tell me what you think. To suppress me, Wang Yu couldn't act openly. The individual and team matches of the preliminaries were his opening. Every battle leaves a record, which is why most beast tamers won't reveal their abilities publicly. Apart from the private match with Mu Chongwei, the two existing recordings had been watched by the Combat Division squad a full 7 times over. Li Mu said, It's strange. Any pet struck by Su Yu's blood loses its reason and becomes his death warrior. But in the second recording, he didn't use blood at all, and he could still command inanimate objects. Wang Yu hadn't been on the scene at the time. He couldn't observe the recording with his spiritual sense, and he certainly couldn't expect Shangguan Ling to tell him. That was exactly what had him stumped. Could Su Yu's talent really have no blind spots? S-rank student Leahy said, Teacher, is it possible he has 2 talents? One that targets pets, and one that targets inanimate energy bodies. Wang Yu nodded. Possible. But Hongxi says Su Yu comes from an ordinary family. He couldn't afford a strong talent serum, and the average beast tamer has only 1 talent. Let's just assume he's a mutant. Going by that logic, your odds in the individual matches might not be bad at all. Li Mu, Lei He, and Yuan Lang all looked up. Wang Yu smiled. Aren't there abyss armaments that counter blood magic and mental abilities? And the compatibility of you 3 against Su Yu isn't bad either. Keep your distance, at least 100 meters. Don't let his blood touch you, and you'll have a real shot at winning. Once we close the gap in talent intel, with your family's backing, surely you won't lose. Well said, teacher. Wang Yu looked satisfied. As for the draw, I'll find a way to arrange it. Consider this a personal request of mine. I'm counting on all of you. Yes, sir. Ugh. Aaliyah, you really don't have to drink this stuff. She pursed her lips. Even with the taste link, she still found the flavor odd, but she smiled. As long as you're happy. Now it's my turn. I cut in quickly. Wait, maybe we should be cultivating. To advance to the transformation realm, how much of my blood do you need to drink? Indulgence was all well and good, but with the Abyss campaign drawing near, there was no room for carelessness. Aaliyah knit her elegant brows. 3,000 liters. Last time, infinitely activating your hematopoietic stem cells in one go was just a stopgap. It's bad for your body. We may need another way. What way? In the Abyss, every demon city has a paired Mythic Realm City Lord and Fey plant, and the Mythic Realm Fey plant secretes life spirit liquid. A single drop can vastly improve your constitution and keep your blood flowing endlessly. Sounded powerful. Where can we buy it? The Beast Tamers Association has it, but it's extremely expensive, 100 million per drop, with a limit of 10 drops per person. Daylight robbery? Then again, it made sense. In nearly a century, humanity had only ever slain a handful of Mythic Realm Fey plants. Having any stock at all was something. There's a deposit certificate inside the gold ring I gave you, just enough to buy 10 drops. If you want more after that, we'll have to figure it out ourselves. Warmth spread through me. Aaliyah had quite a nest egg saved up, and she'd placed it entirely in my hands without holding anything back. I resolved then and there. I would protect this Aaliyah who was mine and mine alone. Aaliyah, you're not the only one who can risk everything for me. I can too. I've thought of an ultimate move that belongs to you and me. I bought 10 drops of life spirit liquid at the Beast Tamers Association, and it hurt so much my heart practically bled. In the jade vial, the droplets shimmered with starlight, holding an unparalleled vital force. I didn't hesitate. I downed it in one gulp. It washed away the impurities, purged the filth, and an unprecedented vigor and blood vitality filled my whole body, letting Aaliyah resume her blood-drinking cultivation. With a life spirit liquid improving my constitution, her draining 30 liters of blood a day by activating my hematopoietic stem cells no longer harmed my health. To break into the transformation realm, the estimate was 100 days. Unless I could get my hands on more life spirit liquid to boost my blood vitality, Aaliyah absolutely refused to overdraw me. Over the next 3 days, my squad and I drilled our team coordination and got familiar with the 2 ghost weapons. Before long, the 9-school alliance preliminaries opened on schedule. By the rules, Lu Xian and I had a bye in the first round. 2 matches a day, my turn came in the afternoon. Unlike past preliminaries, this one was broadcast live to the entire public. Before the match, my parents called. "Hey son, mind if we come watch you compete this afternoon?" "Sure, but mom, tell dad to cancel the Xingdong Fang endorsement immediately." Is that something a person should be endorsing? I'd finally built up a bit of a reputation, and it had all been hijacked by the Xingdong Fang Culinary Institute. Unacceptable. My mom's laughter came down the line. "Oh, come on, your dad's thrilled about it. They offered our family a solid 8 figures.